the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 651 Lin Yi fainted. Really, Lin Yi seemed a little unconvinced. There won't be anything wrong with the cup, right, brother Lin Yi, you are really cautious, and Xuanyuan smiled and shook his head, but it doesn't matter, if you think there is something wrong with the cup, let's switch, you use my cup and I use yours? I won't switch either, I'll just drink your glass of wine, how about it? Okay. As he said that, Lin Yi stood up with the wine glass in his hand, walked in front of Xuanyuan, leaned down, and put the hand that was not holding the wine glass on Xuanyuan's body, as if he was afraid of not standing steadily and falling. He looked carefully at the wine glass in front of Xuanyuan for a while, then exchanged the wine glass in his hand with Xuanyuan's glass, and then returned to his seat. Brother Lin Yi, you are really hurting your self-esteem by doing this. I don't mean to hurt you, but you think of me like this. I won't say anything more, I'll drink it first to show my respect, and Xuanyuan picked up the wine glass that Lin Yi had just exchanged and drank it all in one gulp. In reality, Xuanyuan had drugged the wine, but he'd taken the antidote beforehand, so the drug had no effect on him. Guess I was being too cautious, Lin Yi chuckled self-deprecatingly, then reached for his wine glass. Between his fingers, he found what looked like a pill, freshly poured from a small bottle Xuanyuan had swiped from his pocket. Lin Yi licked the pill between his fingers, confirming it was the antidote, and then, while drinking, he took the antidote into his mouth. This saved Lin Yi a lot of effort. With the antidote in hand, he didn't have to resort to other methods, which would have forced him to secretly inject himself with needles while drinking. While he didn't have the antidote, he did have silver needles. Seeing Lin Yi finally willing to drink, Xuanyuan chuckled to himself. You might be cunning, but you didn't expect me to be smarter, did you? I didn't drug your wine glass alone, I drugged all of it, but I took the antidote beforehand. Brother Lin Yi, I like Chu Mengyao, you know that, so I won't say much. I asked you here today because I want you to tell me, what is your relationship with Chu Mengyao? Although Xuanyuan had already decided to deal with Lin Yi, he also wanted to confirm the relationship between Lin Yi and Chu Mengyao. Oh, didn't I say before that she is my employer? Lin Yi said lightly. But why did Chen Yushu say that Xuanyuan yesterday? Xuanyuan was a little displeased when he heard Lin Yi deny it. Although Chu Mengyao did not confirm what Chen Yushu said yesterday, she did not deny it either. In Xuanyuan's opinion, the matter between Lin Yi and Chu Mengyao was almost certain. She has always been that kind of character, don't you know? Lin Yi shrugged and asked back. Really? It seems like brother Lin Yi still treats me like an outsider and doesn't want to tell me the truth, and Xuanyuan was even more annoyed when he heard Lin Yi deny it. Brother, I'm not unreasonable. If you and Chu Mengyao really have something going on, as long as Chu Mengyao is willing, then I wish you the best, thank you, at least for now. I don't know if there will be anything in the future. There was no need for Lin Yi to lie to Xuanyuan. Oh, forget it, let's drink, and Xuanyuan raised his glass again. Lin Yi also clinked his glass with him and drank it all in one gulp. Estimating that it was almost time and the drug should be taking effect soon, Lin Yi covered his forehead. Brethren, this wine is a bit intoxicating? Why do I feel a little dizzy? No way, isn't this the fight we drank yesterday? How can it be intoxicating? Xuanyuan knew the drug had taken effect when he saw Lin Yi's expression. He was immediately overjoyed, but he pretended to look a little strange. Although Xuanyuan desperately wanted to point at Lin Yi and yell, "You're the one who stole the money. You're the one who's trying to steal Chu Mengyao from me. I'm going to cut off your kidneys. See how you can still compete with me," but Xuanyuan didn't dare. He knew Lin Yi's skills were at least those of a yellow rank master. He was also afraid that in the moment of unconsciousness, Lin Yi would suddenly attack him, which would be a disaster. But I'm really dizzy, Lin Yi said, and then he collapsed on the table. Lin Yi was well versed in pharmacology and was well versed in the symptoms of drug poisoning. His faint state left Xuanyuan with no loopholes. Furthermore, Xuanyuan had personally administered the drug, so he naturally had no doubt that Lin Yi was feigning unconsciousness. Seeing Lin Yi faint, Xuanyuan was overjoyed. He took out his phone and called the tattooed man who had been waiting near the private room. "Come in, he's unconscious. Let's get him out," and Xuanyuan simply ordered the person on the other end of the line before hanging up. After a while, the tattooed man pushed the door and walked into the private room. "Brother Wen, is it done?" "Yeah, it's done. Help me get him out." And Xuanyuan stood up and pointed at Lin Yi, who was lying on the table opposite. The tattooed man nodded, and Ian and Xuanyuan held Lin Yi on the left and right, and walked out of the private room together. Although there were many guests and waiters coming and going in the hotel, no one paid attention to Xuanyuan and the tattooed man. After all, there were many drunk people here. Some were helped out by their friends, some were dragged out, and some were carried out. No one would care whether Lin Yi was fainted or drunk. "Lin Yi, didn't expect it? Going against me? I'll let you taste the feeling of losing a kidney." After Xuanyuan got in the car, he looked at Lin Yi in the back seat viciously and said, "Brother Wen, removing his kidney won't be a problem, right? He won't call the police after he finds out about us, right?" the tattooed man asked, somewhat worriedly. After all, Lin Yi knew Xuanyuan. If a kidney was missing, Xuanyuan would be the first suspect. No, that guy isn't a good person. He's killed someone, so he wouldn't call the police, and Xuanyuan doubted Lin Yi would call the police, as Li Chihu had said 2 of his yellow rank masters had been killed by Lin Yi. Besides, if he asks, we'll just say he got drunk and left him at the hotel. As for who removed his kidney, he has no evidence. The tattooed man nodded. Since Xuanyuan said it was all right, he naturally wouldn't interfere. He started the car and drove towards headquarters. Lin Yi had been awake the entire time, listening to the conversation between Xuanyuan and the tattooed man. Xuanyuan was indeed connected to the kidney scaling ring, and Xuanyuan's intention to capture him only fulfilled Lin Yi's wish. Chapter 652. What a coincidence. He either had to take Lin Yi to his lair, or he had to find a way to track Xuanyuan. Now, even tracking wasn't necessary, Xuanyuan had already driven him to their headquarters. "By the way, have arrangements been made with Dr. Wang?" Xuanyuan asked. "Yes, Dr. Wang is in the operating room, ready to operate at any moment," the tattooed man said. "By the way, should we also push the chick we caught yesterday onto the operating table?" "Oh, no rush. Let's cut Lin Yi first. Song Lingshan will be next in line," and Xuanyuan's hatred for Lin Yi had reached a certain point. As for Song Lingshan, that was secondary. Is Song Lingshan awake? Based on the time, she should be awake soon, right? The tattooed man said, calculating the time. "If you're still afraid to go in, get some more drugs? She's a yellow rank expert. Although our dungeon door is sturdy, what if she escapes?" And Xuanyuan was immediately anxious. "Okay, I'll arrange it right away." The tattooed man was also shocked and quickly called the hook-nosed man. The hook-nosed man had returned to headquarters yesterday. He was one of the tattooed man's closest confidants, but he was unaware of Xuanyuan's existence. In fact, within the entire kidney harvesting ring, Xuanyuan was at the top of the pyramid, and the only people who knew him were the tattooed man and Dr. Wang, the lead surgeon. "Brother Tattoo, what's up?" The hook-nosed man quickly answered the phone. "Go get some drugs for that girl we captured yesterday," the tattooed man ordered. "Huh? Drugs? Okay, I'll get them." The hook-nosed man was slightly taken aback. Why would drugs be needed? Toying with a woman in the dungeon of his own chief security guard, would drugs be necessary? Even if the girl screamed, it wouldn't matter. That's right. The hook-nosed man suddenly realized that there were many kinds of drugs. Could the drugs the tattooed man was talking about be aphrodisiacs? This thought struck the hook-nosed man as highly likely. Otherwise, why would drugs be necessary? Without further ado, the hook-nosed man hurried to carry out the order. Lin Yi, in the back of the car, unexpectedly overheard news about Song Lingshan. This was a pleasant surprise. It was like searching for someone, yet finding them was effortless. It turned out that Song Lingshan was being held in a dungeon, a crucial piece of information. The car slowly drove toward a villa-like manor, where Lin Yi remained unconscious. Once inside, he was wheeled onto a stretcher and taken into a completely white room, where a cluster of instruments lined the walls. Xuanyuan also donned a mask, disguising himself as a medical worker. His identity was a secret within this kidney harvesting ring. Lin Yi had his finger cut, and a blood sample was taken for testing. He had his own agenda for allowing these people to do what they did. Since they wouldn't harm him at the moment, he simply feigned unconsciousness. As for Song Lingshan, Lin Yi had already confirmed she was safe before his kidney was harvested, so he wasn't in a rush. The medical staff arrived and left quickly. After examining Lin Yi and drawing his blood, they all left the room, leaving only the tattooed man and Xuanyuan. A moment later, a medical staff member in a white coat walked in again and handed the tattooed man a report. "Boss, this person's kidney matches the one you asked us to look out for." "Oh?" The tattooed man took Lin Yi's test report, slightly startled. Then waved to the medical staff, saying, "You can leave first." "Yes." The medical staff respectfully left the room. "Brother Wen, Lin Yi's kidney is exactly what Zhong Pinliang needs." "Isn't that a coincidence?" the tattooed man said with some surprise as he handed the report to Xuanyuan. "Oh? Then I'll do you a favor. Call Zhong Fabei and have him arrange for Zhong Pinliang to undergo the kidney transplant," and Xuanyuan excitedly instructed. "I can't believe it. Zhong Pinliang lost a kidney because of Lin Yi, and now, Lin Yi's kidney has been given to him again. Ha, what's that called? Karma. Okay, Brother Wen, I'll arrange it now." The tattooed man nodded. "Shall I get someone to change Lin Yi's clothes and wheel him onto the operating table?" "Well, you change his clothes first, and I'll wheel him onto the table myself later," and Xuanyuan sneered at Lin Yi. The tattooed man went out to notify Zhong Fabei to perform the kidney transplant on Zhong Pinliang. On Lin Yi's side, several staff members arrived to change Lin Yi into surgical gowns. And Xuanyuan sat aside, coldly staring at the helpless Lin Yi, feeling an indescribable sense of satisfaction. "Dare to compete with me for Chu Mengyao? This is what will happen to you." It happened to Zhong Pinliang, and it will happen to Lin Yi too. Although Zhong Pinliang's kidney was given to him this time, it was also out of consideration for Zhao Kaibing's sake. However, the lesson had been taught. He believed Zhong Pinliang would never dare to pursue Chu Mengyao again. Zhong Pinliang watched the students gradually enter the cafeteria, feeling a surge of satisfaction. He wondered if some of them would end up in the hospital soon. Just as Zhong Pinliang was about to report the good news to his father, he received a call. "Pinliang, where are you?" Zhong Fabei's voice was a little nervous, as his son was carrying out a dangerous crime. "Did you complete it successfully, Dad? I'm on the school playground." "Don't worry, Xiaofu and I have successfully completed our mission," Zhong Pinliang said with a hint of pride. "That's good," Zhong Fabei breathed a sigh of relief. "Now that it's completed, I can report back to Bingxiao. You must be careful in school and don't let anyone notice." "That's easy. Xiaofu and I are pretty normal," Zhong Pinliang said casually, completely disregarding the safety of the other students. Zhong Fabei nodded, hung up the phone, then made an okay gesture to Li Chihu who was waiting beside him, and said, "Pinliang has already put the poison in the food. We just need to wait and see how things develop." "Yes, Pinliang did a great job," Li Chihu nodded. "I have asked Bingxiao to inform Xuanyuan. As long as there is a suitable kidney source, Pinliang will be considered first. Don't worry, Bingxiao will not treat those who work for him unfairly." Chapter 653 Two Good News. "Okay, thank you for troubling me, Mr. Bing," Zhong Fabei nodded happily. In fact, if Li Chihu hadn't agreed to this benefit, Zhong Fabei would not have let his son take the risk. After all, he only had this one son, and he didn't want him to go to jail for this. As soon as Zhong Fabei finished speaking, Li Chihu's phone rang. Li Chihu took out his phone, took a look, and found that it was actually Xuanyuan's subordinate, the tattooed man, calling. "Hello." Li Chihu quickly answered the phone. After all, the two sides were now in a cooperative relationship, and Xuanyuan would bring him huge profits every month. "Brother Chihu? It's me. Brother Wen said that he has found a suitable kidney source for Zhong Pinliang and asked him to come here immediately for the kidney transplant," the tattooed man said to Li Chihu. "Oh? Already found one? That's great, thank you so much." What Li Chihu didn't expect was that the moment he mentioned the devil would appear. He had just told Zhong Fabei about finding a kidney source for Zhong Pinliang, and Xuanyuan had already taken care of it. "It's mutually beneficial," said the tattooed man. "In half an hour, I will send a cart to the Jelly Fuyan bar to pick up Zhong Pinliang, and Brother Chihu will make the arrangements." "Okay, then let's meet in half an hour." Li Chihu hung up the phone and looked at Zhong Fabei with a smile on his face. "Old Zhong, I want to congratulate you." "Congratulate me? Congratulate me for what?" Zhong Fabei's heart moved. He had heard Li Chihu answer the phone and say that he had found something, but he didn't care. But now that Li Chihu wanted to congratulate him, Zhong Fabei's heart began to move. He thought of a possibility that made him excited. Zhong Pinliang's matching kidney source has been found, and kidney transplant surgery can be performed, Li Shihu said, and Jianwen will send a car over in half an hour. You can ask Pinliang to come to the Jelly Fuyan bar and wait. You can go directly there when the time comes. Really? Zhang Fabei was suddenly very excited. He only had this one son, and this was his lifeblood. His son was missing a kidney. Although he didn't say anything, he felt like a huge stone was blocking his heart every day. He was very uncomfortable. He wanted to solve the problem but had no way to do it. He could only stop thinking about it. But some things cannot be solved without thinking about them. The reason why he asked Zhong Pinliang to take the risk of poisoning the school cafeteria was because Bing Xiao promised that he would not let Zhong Pinliang do it. He would talk to Jianwen and ask him to help find a kidney source that matched Zhong Pinliang to install another kidney for him. As for whether Bing Xiao could go and say hello, and whether Jianwen would give him face after saying hello, this was not something Zhang Fabei could control, but hope is always better than no hope. What he didn't expect was that Bing Xiao was so capable. His son had just poisoned the school cafeteria, and the right kidney source was found right after. Young Master Bing never mistreats those who work for him, Li Shihu said with a smile. As long as we keep up with young Master Bing's pace, we will have a good life in the future. Yes, young Master Bing is a really good boss and worthy of our following, Zhang Fabei said sincerely. What he feared most before was that young Master Bing was just using him and didn't take him seriously. But now it seems that young Master Bing always keeps his difficulties in mind. Even though he was lying on the hospital bed with a broken leg, he didn't forget to help Zhong Pinliang find a kidney donor. I'll go and thank young Master Bing in person, and then show my loyalty. No need, young Master Bing should be resting. Li Shihu waved his hand and said, you'd better call Pinliang first and ask him to come over. And Jianwen will send a car here soon. Don't delay your business. That's right, that's right. Zhang Fabei thought it made sense and said, I'll drive to pick up Pinliang now. However, before Zhang Fabei could go out, Li Shihu's phone rang again. Li Shihu took it out and saw that it was the tattooed man calling. So he made a gesture to Zhang Fabei, asking him to wait a moment before leaving. Hello? Brother Tattoo, is there anything else? Li Shihu answered the phone. Haha, I almost forgot just now that I have a good news to tell Brother Shihu, the tattooed man said with a smile. Oh? There is another good news? What news? Li Shihu asked. Brother Wen, I told Master Bing that the kidney that will be replaced for Zhong Pinliang this time was taken from Lin Yi's body, the tattooed man said lightly. What? Lin Yi? Li Shihu was startled at first, but then burst into ecstasy. Brother Tattoo, is this true? You've captured Lin Yi? You're going to take his kidney, haha, Brother Wen has a grudge against him too. I didn't expect his kidney to be a perfect match for Zhong Pinliang's, the tattooed man laughed. I heard he has a grudge against you, young Master Bing, and Brother Shihu, more than just a grudge? It's a huge grudge, Li Shihu said bitterly. Thank you, young Master Yin, okay. I'll hang up now. I'll send a car over later. The tattooed man suddenly remembered that Lin Yi also had a grudge against Li Shihu and young Master Bing, so he made another call to do him a favor. Li Shihu hung up the phone, almost jumping for joy. Lin Yi, you have come to this day. It's over, right? Your kidney is going to be taken away, right? Zhang Fabei, standing nearby, heard it all this time. He was so happy to hear that Lin Yi's kidney was going to be donated to his son that his face lit up with joy. Brother Shihu? From what I hear, they're going to give Lin Yi's kidney to Pinliang, haha. Yet, I didn't expect such a coincidence either. But it's really cool. I have to tell Master Bing about this right away so he can be happy too, Li Shihu said as she went to the inner room of the bar to find Master Bing. Zhao Kaibing was sleeping. He was initially annoyed that Li Shihu had woken him up, but when he heard the news that Lin Yi was going to have his kidney removed, he immediately lost his sleepiness. If his leg hadn't been broken, he would have jumped out of bed and cheered 3 times. The person he hated the most was Lin Yi. No matter how Jianwen captured Lin Yi or how he removed his kidney, he was still happy. As long as Lin Yi was in trouble, he was happy. Even better, if Lin Yi was hit by a car and died, he would be happy. Zhang Fabei also took this opportunity to express his gratitude to Zhao Kaibing and his loyalty. Zhang Fabei was so happy that he decided to drive to pick up Zhong Pinliang himself. After leaving the bar, he drove his Mercedes-Benz to Songshan No. 1 high school at high speed. On the way, He called Zhong Pinliang to tell him the good news. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 654 The Happy Zhong Pinliang Family. Dad? Why are you calling again? Zhong Pinliang had just hung up the phone and didn't know why Zhong Fabei called again. Son, I have two great news to tell you, Zhong Fabei said excitedly. Ah. What good news? Two more. Zhong Pinliang also heard the excitement in his father's voice, but he didn't understand what kind of news could make his father so excited. And two good news? Son, the first good news is that you will be able to regain your manhood soon. Bing Xiao has contacted Jianwen, and Jianwen has found a suitable kidney source for you. I will pick you up from school now and take you to have a kidney transplant, Zhong Fabei said excitedly. I have a kidney? I finally have a kidney again. Zhong Pinliang almost dropped his phone and said in disbelief, Dad, did I hear it right? I will soon become a healthy person. You heard it right. I'm on my way to pick you up from school, Zhong Fabei said. So, son, your poison is not in vain. We work for Master Bing, and Master Bing really considers us subordinates. The kidney source is here all of a sudden. Okay. I'll go to the school gate and wait. Zhong Pinliang didn't care about Gao Xiaofu's surprised look and ran directly to the school gate. Wait, son, this is only the first good news. There is another good news. Zhong Fabei was afraid that Zhong Pinliang would hang up the phone, so he hurriedly said, the second news is better than the first. There is good news? What news can be better than this? Zhong Pinliang was stunned. In his opinion, being able to get a matching kidney and restore his masculinity was the best thing. How could there be something better than this? Haha, the news is that the kidney you want to donate is Lin Yi's. Zhong Fabei laughed loudly. Lin Yi was captured by Jianwen, and coincidentally, his kidney is a perfect match for yours. Wahahaha! Zhong Pinliang burst into laughter, tears almost coming out of his eyes. It is indeed good news, the best news. Lin Yi's kidney is going to be donated to me? That's so cool. In the future, when I pick up girls, I will think that it was Lin Yi who made the contribution to me. Then wait for me, I will pick you up from school. Zhong Fabei was also very happy to see his son so happy. Gao Xiaofu chased Zhong Pinliang out of the school, a little puzzled. Seeing Zhong Pinliang smiling so happily, he finally couldn't help asking after he hung up the phone, Brother Liang, what's wrong with you? Why are you smiling so happily? Haha, you don't know. Zhong Pinliang hung up the phone, still very happy. Xiaofu, I will have a kidney again soon. My dad called and said that he has found a suitable kidney source and will perform the transplant surgery on me soon. Ah. Congratulations to Brother Liang. After hearing the news, Gao Xiaofu hurriedly congratulated. Yes, I'm going to regain my masculinity soon. Let's see if those people will still laugh at me for having only one kidney. Zhong Pinliang nodded. In addition, there is another good news. Guess whose kidney is going to be donated to me? Whose? Gao Xiaofu was far away and didn't hear the phone call between Zhong Pinliang and Zhong Fabei clearly. Haha, it's Lin Yi's. Zhong Pinliang said excitedly, Lin Yi's kidney is going to be donated to me. Do you think this is a happy thing? Gao Xiaofu was stunned when he heard it, but after he reacted, he and Zhong Pinliang burst into laughter. This was indeed a happy thing. Lin Yi was changed into a hospital gown, and Jianwen dispersed all the medical staff and personally pushed Lin Yi towards the operating room. Lin Yi, you didn't expect it? Your kidney is about to be removed. The funniest thing is that your kidney is going to be transplanted to Zhong Pinliang. In the preparation room of the operating room, and Jianwen looked at Lin Yi who was about to be slaughtered, and couldn't help but said sarcastically. Yeah, I didn't expect it, and I didn't think about it, Lin Yi said. It doesn't matter if you haven't thought about it, you are about to have your kidney removed, and Jianwen was so scared that he almost jumped up. Why did Lin Yi talk? Wasn't he unconscious? Was he hallucinating? Just when Jianwen wanted to confirm whether he was hallucinating, he saw Lin Yi sitting up from the stretcher, looking at him with a smile. Why did you wake up? And Jianwen finally realized at this time that he was not hallucinating, otherwise it would be impossible for him to have hallucinations as well, right? Lin Yi was really awake. I didn't faint, Lin Yi shrugged and said. This is impossible. I clearly put drugs in the wine, How come you didn't faint? As Xuanyuan spoke, he slowly leaned towards the other side of the wall, where there was an emergency response button. Although Lin Yi woke up, Xuanyuan was not nervous except for being a little surprised, because in the headquarters of the kidney harvesting group, Xuanyuan did not believe that Lin Yi could cause any trouble. As long as he pressed that button, the preparation room of the operating room would be instantly filled with drugs. This was also designed to prevent the person whose kidney was removed from suddenly getting angry, but it has never been used. Your question is a bit stupid. Why didn't you faint? Of course I didn't faint, Lin Yi said. I have the antidote, and Xuanyuan was also happy to delay time with Lin Yi. He was leaning towards the wall little by little. Yes, you are right, Lin Yi nodded and said, you have the antidote on you, and I took it, huh? And Xuanyuan suddenly remembered that when they were drinking, Lin Yi did approach him once and slapped him a few times. Could it be that he stole the antidote at that time? Okay, you don't have to think about pressing the button anymore. Go to the operating table and receive the kidney transplant surgery. After Lin Yi finished speaking, he jumped up from the stretcher nimbly and hid Xuanyuan's neck with a knife. And Xuanyuan fainted without even a groan. Lin Yi controlled his strength very well and could not kill Xuanyuan, but he would not wake up for a while. Lin Yi casually massaged Xuanyuan's body a few more times. These were a few acupuncture points that would prevent Xuanyuan from feeling pain when he was unconscious. Lin Yi was not sure whether there would be anesthesia when he went to the operating table for a kidney transplant, and whether the effect of the anesthesia would allow Xuanyuan to continue to be unconscious without any consciousness. So, to be on the safe side and ensure the smooth and successful operation of the kidney transplant, Lin Yi simply did it himself. If there is no anesthesia, it doesn't matter. And Xuanyuan will not wake up in the next few hours. Chapter 655 Songlingshan's Trouble. Lin Yi took off his hospital gown and then stripped Xuanyuan's clothes and put them on himself. He put the gown on Xuanyuan, put a surgical cap on him, and placed him on a stretcher. At least from the outside, people who were not familiar with Xuanyuan would not recognize him. After doing all this, Lin Yi walked out of the operating room and went downstairs to look for Songlingshan. As for the clothes that had been taken off earlier, there was nothing else except a cell phone and a box of silver needles. Lin Yi was not in a hurry to go back and get them. What if he ran into Xuanyuan's men? Songlingshan woke up in a daze and knew she had been tricked. The other party must have known her identity. Otherwise, why would they drug her after locking her in the dungeon and then knock her unconscious? They must be afraid of her strength as a yellow rank master, so they used such a despicable method as fumigation. But Songlingshan had no choice. She couldn't just not breathe, right? As long as she breathed, the drug would be in the air. She had just woken up, and the air was clear of drugs. Apparently, the other party hadn't injected more drugs into the dungeon. Perhaps they'd overlooked the fact that, as a yellow rank expert, Songlingshan was in better shape than an average person, and that she had woken up earlier than most. Songlingshan's first action was to check her phone and transmitter to see if they had been taken. Both items were still there, leaving her puzzled. Had they not searched her? Her guess was correct, and Xuanyuan hadn't searched her. One reason was that there was no need. The entire headquarters of the kidney harvesting group was shielded from signals, so even if Songlingshan had a communication device, she wouldn't be able to contact the outside world. Another reason was Songlingshan's inherent strength. Without a yellow rank expert nearby, Xuanyuan was no match for her, and he didn't dare to touch her. Songlingshan glanced at her phone, which had no signal, and couldn't help but smile wryly. As expected. Otherwise, with Liu Wangli's efficiency, he wouldn't have been able to find her, and he wouldn't have let her stay unconscious for over a night. The time on her phone showed it was already noon the next day. I have been unconscious for more than 10 hours. Songlingshan got up and checked the situation inside the dungeon. This kind of defense measure, at least I can't open it. The thickness of the dungeon's iron door is at least that of a master at the peak of the late yellow rank. I am only at the peak of the middle yellow rank, and I am still a long way from the next stage. So Songlingshan didn't do those useless things, but continued to look for other exits in the dungeon. Suddenly, a strange fragrance began to fill the air of the dungeon. Songlingshan frowned. Could it be that the other party noticed that I woke up and started to inject drugs into the dungeon again? Sure enough, after searching, Songlingshan found 2 cameras in 2 inconspicuous locations in the dungeon. The other party should be monitoring me through these 2 cameras. Thinking of this, Song Lingshan didn't deliberately hold her breath, because even if she held her breath, she could only hold it for a short while. She couldn't hold her breath forever, right? So, Song Lingshan let it go, not resisting, breathing in the fragrance in the air normally. However, after a while, Song Lingshan didn't even think about falling asleep. Instead, she felt an overwhelming sense of excitement, her blood boiling, as if she had endless energy. Could it be that the enemy had mistakenly introduced stimulants into the dungeon? However, Song Lingshan soon realized that the gas the enemy had introduced wasn't stimulants. She felt an intense heat all over her body, a burning sensation, and a strong urge. Although Song Lingshan had never had a boyfriend or done anything out of the ordinary, this physiological phenomenon was understandable. She was a normal woman, and she occasionally had dreams, but she had strong self-control in a busy work schedule, so she was able to control them better. But under the influence of such a powerful drug, how could she control it with just her strong self-control? Because of her job, Song Lingshan had naturally studied these drugs more extensively and knew how powerful they could be when they took effect. At this thought, Song Lingshan became increasingly anxious. What were these people trying to do? Could it be that they were trying to do something to me this way? That wasn't right. Although I was under the influence of drugs, I hadn't lost my mid-stage yellow rank strength. They'd have to be incredibly bold to break in at this time. But if not for that, why would they be sending this drug into the dungeon? At first, Song Lingshan managed to control herself, but as the drug inhaled more and more, her vision grew hazy. But her mind remained clear, her body's reactions were uncontrollable. Ah, she cried out, startling even herself. Could she one day make such a seductive sound? Song Lingshan, always known for her strength, was now deeply embarrassed. Embarrassment aside, even so, her hands couldn't help but rip off her clothes. Camera. Song Lingshan suddenly remembered the camera and was startled. Could the criminals be using it to record her in an embarrassing way and use it to blackmail her? If someone got their hands on the video of me masturbating, I'd be better off dead. Song Lingshan bit her lip hard, the intense pain bringing her to her senses in a moment's clarity. The camera had to be destroyed, or else, she'd be finished. Even if she survived, she wouldn't be able to continue being a captain, let alone working in the police station. Song Lingshan knew she couldn't resist the effects of the drugs, so she had to destroy anything that posed a threat before they took full effect. Fortunately, the dungeon walls weren't very high, and the cameras were only about 3 meters from the ground. This height was nothing for a yellow rank master, especially one at the peak of the mid-stage yellow rank. Song Lingshan gritted her teeth, reached the edge of the wall where the cameras were mounted, stepped onto the wall, and using the friction of the wall to leap up, she kicked the surveillance camera. With a pop, one of the cameras exploded, severing the connecting wires, clearly rendering it inoperable. Recommended book: The King of Second Kill in Another World, book number 2,141,569. Chapter 656, Poison Song Lingshan. Song Lingshan repeated the same trick with the other camera installed in the opposite corner. After shattering it with a kick, she breathed a sigh of relief. Without the threat of the camera, Song Lingshan finally gave in. While she didn't want to do anything embarrassing, her body's movements weren't controlled by her thoughts. She was in agony, feeling as if her body were on fire. If she didn't release the heat quickly, she felt like she was going to burn to death. Her breathing became increasingly rapid. She couldn't bear it any longer. Her mind could no longer control her limbs. And Xuanyuan's headquarters wasn't large, in fact, only 3 stories, with only one fire escape. Lin Yi quickly found the entrance to the basement. This must be the dungeon the tattooed man had mentioned. There was an iron door at the basement entrance. It looked sturdy, but for Lin Yi's current strength, it was nothing. Lin Yi paused before the door, not rushing to act. He waited for a moment. The jade pendant on his chest didn't react, indicating that there was no danger within. This jade pendant had become a golden finger for Lin Yi. Thanks to it, Lin Yi seemed to always have a burst of luck and good fortune, repeatedly escaping danger. Then, Lin Yi suddenly launched a flying kick at the iron gate. With a resounding roar, the gate collapsed in half. Lin Yi was afraid of injuring Song Lingshan inside, so he didn't use his full strength, otherwise the gate would have been sent flying. For an early Zhuan level expert, this was a piece of cake. Once the iron gate was halfway down, Lin Yi kicked it again, and it finally collapsed to the ground with a loud bang. Song Lingshan was stunned at that moment, and she stopped moving. The flames within her body seemed to cease instantly. The loud noise from the iron gate left her bewildered. She didn't know what had happened. But when she saw the iron gate completely collapse, seemingly destroyed by an external force, she was utterly shocked. Just how much strength would it take to bring down such a gate? Song Lingshan wondered if she couldn't do it. Even a peak-level mid-yellow rank expert couldn't do it, so what strength could the person have possessed to knock down this iron gate? Or perhaps it wasn't human effort at all, but rather the aid of some kind of equipment? But when Song Lingshan saw Lin Yi step through the iron gate, she knew her initial suspicions were correct. The iron gate had been kicked down by someone, and someone she knew, the very Lin Yi she hated and was furious with. Seeing Lin Yi, Song Lingshan felt a sudden sense of relief. And when Lin Yi stepped through the gate, she felt not only no disgust, but a touch of admiration. Was it his strength? He had kicked down this iron gate? Whatever it was, Song Lingshan had to admit, Lin Yi was strong. Truly strong. At that moment, Song Lingshan finally understood, Lin Yi's strength truly surpassed her own. No wonder Yang Huaijin praised him so highly, he truly possessed the power. With a sense of relief, the fire within her once again seized Song Lingshan's entire being. Song Lingshan's hand involuntarily reached down again, a move that both embarrassed and annoyed her. She should have been happy that Lin Yi had come to her rescue, but she wished he'd come later. The flames within her surged uncontrollably, choking her breath. Her vision blurred again, the dose of drugs she inhaled increasing, and she felt a wave of loss of control. No, I can't. Lin Yi is right in front of me, how could I do this? This was the last shred of consciousness in Song Lingshan's mind. The next moment, the flames within her surged like a flood, flooding her entire body. She could no longer control her body or words. Ah! Song Lingshan screamed, tearing at her clothes with both hands, as if trying to vent something. But she was clumsy. This was her first time trying to vent the flames within her, but she couldn't find a way. She could only tear at her clothes more frantically, her mind going crazy. When Lin Yi entered, he saw Song Lingshan lying on the ground. However, Song Lingshan's condition was a bit strange. She seemed to be having a seizure, writhing on the ground. What was she doing? Lin Yi sniffed the air in the dungeon and detected something unusual. The air in the dungeon was filled with a common scent of aphrodisiacs. Tang Yun had been drugged by this very same drug. Upon smelling it, Lin Yi subconsciously held his breath. He didn't want to end up like Song Lingshan. Zhuan-level masters were superior to Wang-level masters not just in terms of strength, but also because Zhuan-level masters had mastered the art of tortoise breathing. Tortoise breathing refers to breathing like a tortoise, achieving immortality without food or drink. When a tortoise sleeps, its breathing is very slow. Of course, Lin Yi couldn't truly be like a tortoise, but slowing down his breathing was possible. By breathing this way, Lin Yi could avoid inhaling an excessive amount of the drug, and even a small amount would be negligible. But while Lin Yi could use tortoise breathing, Song Lingshan couldn't. You've been drugged. Lin Yi walked up to Song Lingshan, but before he could finish his words, she embraced him fiercely, clambering up his body and wrapping her arms around his neck. Song Lingshan's mid-stage Huangji skills were fully utilized, her entire body moving with remarkable agility. Such a difficult move wouldn't be possible for just anyone. Help me, I can't stand it anymore, it hurts so bad. Song Lingshan closed her eyes slightly, mumbling incoherently, and leaned in to kiss Lin Yi. Lin Yi frowned, not expecting such a strong reaction from Song Lingshan. This drug wasn't the most potent, but it did vary from person to person. Some people might react mildly and calmly after being drugged. Tang Yun had also experienced a reaction, but it was definitely not as severe as hers. Don't move, Lin Yi frowned, prying Song Lingshan's hands apart, trying to push her off him. But as soon as he'd pried one hand free, another grabbed hold, leaving Lin Yi frustrated. Song Lingshan was so embarrassed. Although her body was out of control, her mind was definitely clear. However, what she did was not thought through by the brain, but completely out of instinct. No, I have to think of a way. Lin Yi couldn't let her go on like this. Chapter 657 I can't help you. I didn't bring my silver needles with me, so I can't help you detox quickly. Just bear with it. Lin Yi's silver needles were in his pocket, but Xuanyuan had taken off his clothes and thrown them upstairs. Lin Yi had never expected this situation to occur. If he had known earlier, he would have gone to get the silver needles and brought them down, even at the risk of his life. I'll get you out now. Just make it to the hospital. Lin Yi had no way of knowing if Song Lingshan was in danger. She wasn't Cheng Yun, not Lin Yi's girlfriend, so there was no other way for him to help her. Besides, Tang Yun could use massage to expel the poison from her system. Partly because she hadn't ingested as much of the poison as Song Lingshan, the reaction wasn't as strong, and massage would quickly resolve it. But Song Lingshan's condition was more serious, and it wouldn't be resolved quickly. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time on this. No. I feel like the inner key is about to explode. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please, Lin Yi. Song Lingshan could already sense that something was wrong. The internal cultivation techniques she normally practiced tended to be feminine, and this potion seemed to conflict with them, or perhaps it had instantly triggered a resonance within her body's Zhenki. Song Lingshan felt that if she didn't release her inner energy, she might explode at any moment. Is this Henki going to explode? Lin Yi hadn't expected the potion to have such a side effect. He had never been exposed to this kind of drug before, and Tang Yun was an ordinary person, so naturally, she wouldn't be in the situation Song Lingshan was in right now. Could Song Lingshan's strong reaction be due to her being a cultivator? Yes, please help this idiot girl, please. Song Lingshan was on the verge of tears. Although she felt embarrassed begging Lin Yi like this, it was better than dying. At this moment, Song Lingshan was completely devastated. Then handle it yourself. I'll help you hold the door. Lin Yi shrugged helplessly and, while Song Lingshan wasn't paying attention, he pulled her off him. Seeing Lin Yi's refusal to help, Song Lingshan felt both ashamed and angry. Was she really that unattractive? He is not even interested in touching herself? In fact, Song Lingshan had wronged Lin Yi. It was a lie that Lin Yi was not attracted to her. But although he was attracted, Lin Yi did not do it. Because Lin Yi has strong self-control, if he really wants to do something, there are many opportunities. But Lin Yi hates things without emotional basis, so he pushed Song Lingshan away. Of course, if this brainless girl wants to be his girlfriend one day, Lin Yi doesn't mind helping her. Seeing that Lin Yi really turned around and walked towards the dungeon door, Song Lingshan was so angry that she wanted to curse. She had said it very clearly, but was ignored by Lin Yi. Well, Song Lingshan was a little desperate. It is better to rely on yourself than on heaven or earth. She decided to do it herself. Although she had never done it, she should be able to do it with her own intelligence and talent after some exploration. So, in a feeling of shame and indignation, Song Lingshan finally took the first step bravely. Although she desperately didn't want to do this in front of Lin Yi, she thought about her situation, especially considering they were at the headquarters of the kidney-stealing gang. If she hesitated, she'd be in for another intruder. She might as well just die. As for Lin Yi, that was fine. After all, her reputation had been ruined by him. Word had spread throughout the police station that she was Lin Yi's girlfriend and had already done that to him in the hospital. So what was there to worry about? She'd been acting like a spoiled child in front of him, anyway. A broken jar is broken, too many lice won't itch anymore. Song Lingshan began to console herself. Although she felt her reasons were a bit far-fetched, another voice in her head took over, urging her to proceed quickly. However, some things can't be realized simply by thinking about them. The more anxious Song Lingshan became, the less she felt. In matters like this, mental cooperation is often the most important thing. But at this moment, all she could think about was the criminal gang. She was trapped in the enemy's lair. How could she possibly focus on anything? Besides, when doing something like this, there has to be a fantasy object, right? Who was she going to fantasize about? A movie star? A martial arts master? Song Lingshan's eyes suddenly fell on Lin Yi. Lin Yi's originally not very tall figure became extremely attractive, and Song Lingshan could not look away. Song Lingshan's breathing gradually became rapid, and her eyes became blurry. Uncontrollably, she shouted loudly, "Lin Yi, huh?" Lin Yi was standing guard at the door, startled by Song Lingshan's cry. Could she be fantasizing about him? Lin Yi was speechless and horrified. Was it because, in this closed environment, with only him as a man, Song Lingshan was hungry and had no choice? Or did she like him? Song Lingshan lay on the ground with a dazed look in her eyes, gasping for breath. Song Lingshan had never expected that her first time would happen in such a situation. Song Lingshan didn't dare to look at Lin Yi. She was really embarrassed this time. In her final moments, she'd uncontrollably called out Lin Yi's name. How could she possibly survive? It's over, Lin Yi turned and walked over, only to see Song Lingshan still lying on the ground, her pants and bra unfastened. She looked vulnerable, a look that stirred Lin Yi's heart. He averted his eyes, trying to stop thinking about it. But he had to admit, Song Lingshan had a truly stunning, taut figure. Women who practiced martial arts were truly different. Seeing Lin Yi approach, Song Lingshan hurriedly tried to get dressed. But she was so exhausted that her entire body felt like it was falling apart. She couldn't move, and she felt completely sluggish. But it had to be said that the moment she'd called out Lin Yi's name, she felt like she was flying. The energies and flames within her body simultaneously released, leaving her feeling light and indescribably relieved. Remembering that Lin Yi had seen her before, and that she'd done something so shameful right in front of him, Song Lingshan suddenly felt more relaxed. What could she possibly do? Which woman hasn't been looked at by a man? Sooner or later, this day will come. What's the big deal? It's over, help me up, I can't get up. Song Lingshan stretched out her hand lazily. Seeing Lin Yi frown, Song Lingshan said softly, "Good man, help the stupid girl, I'm so tired." Chapter 658. Can you break through like this? Lin Yi was really helpless. Could it be that Song Lingshan had been made stupid by the aphrodisiac? Had she lost her shyness? Lin Yi stretched out his hand and pulled her up. Song Lingshan then pulled up her pants and put on her bra. However, her outer clothes were torn into a mess and she couldn't wear them anymore. Song Lingshan was a little distressed. If she went out in this state and was seen by the police, she would probably lose all her face. "Hey, what are you doing? Can you lend me your shirt?" Song Lingshan's tone when talking to Lin Yi was not firm. This was not her character, but there was no way. In front of Lin Yi, it had become a conditioned reflex and she had to be as gentle as possible. "There's a pinhole camera here. If you don't want the video just now to be transmitted, just keep it." Lin Yi threw a small black device to Song Lingshan. It was a miniature recorder with a storage medium. It would not be connected to the internet with other cameras, and there was no need to worry about the content being leaked. Song Lingshan was startled for a moment before catching the object Lin Yi threw. Her face flushed slightly, but she couldn't help but ask, "Why don't you stay and admire it in secret?" "How?" Lin Yi smiled faintly. He felt Song Lingshan was getting too pushy. He quickly walked over to her and lifted her chin with his hand. It was a very flirtatious gesture, almost teasing. "Do you really want me to admire you?" Song Lingshan raised an eyebrow. She wanted to protest, but was surprised to find that she didn't mind being teased. Was she a masochist? Song Lingshan's lips curled slightly. "If you want to admire me, this idiot girl can perform for you anytime, just like she did just now." Song Lingshan's words were originally spoken in anger, but after they came out, they sounded incredibly refreshing, as if she enjoyed doing this. In fact, did she really enjoy it? Song Lingshan couldn't explain it clearly. It was a strange feeling that left her a little confused. What a vixen. Chen Yushu was absolutely right. Lin Yi quickly let go of Song Lingshan's chin. This woman might be a bit fierce, but when she got flirty, she was quite something. "This is the headquarters of the kidney harvesting group. I've done what I need to do. You can handle this on your own, right?" Lin Yi was feeling a bit uncomfortable with Song Lingshan. He had already inhaled some aphrodisiacs to some extent. Did this girl know she was doing something dangerous? Did she know that even if he fucked her, it would be in vain? "There's no cell phone signal here. Can you take me out?" Song Lingshan grabbed Lin Yi and shook his arm like a spoiled little girl. "Really? I hadn't noticed that." Lin Yi subconsciously reached for his phone in his pocket, but it turned out to be Xuanyuan's phone, a very special one, like a walkie-talkie. Lin Yi had seen similar phones before. This one was likely a special, internally designed phone. It used the same internal wireless frequency and could make calls normally, using a normal number. The SIM card was plugged into the server, and the phone was like a cordless phone terminal. "What kind of phone is this?" "A walkie-talkie." Song Lingshan looked at the object in Lin Yi's hand in surprise. Just as Lin Yi was about to explain, the special phone in his hand rang. Lin Yi glanced at the caller list and didn't recognize it. Could it be one of Xuanyuan's men? Lin Yi casually pressed the end button and handed the phone to Song Lingshan. "Call your people. This is their special internal phone. It should be able to broadcast external calls." Song Lingshan nodded without saying anything. She took the phone and dialed a number. Sure enough, it worked. "Liu Wangli? This is Song Lingshan. I order you to immediately lead your men to surround the factory building at number 1. Taxing South Road, Song Lingshan had memorized the address when she arrived, but she fainted after entering. At this moment, Song Lingshan suddenly regained her usual capable self, which surprised Lin Yi. Song Lingshan hung up the phone and looked at Lin Yi. Are you still not going to show up? You know it and still ask? Are you mentally retarded? Lin Yi asked back. Yeah, I am a mentally retarded girl, so what? Song Lingshan looked at Lin Yi pitifully. Give me your coat, okay? I can't go out and see anyone like this, and you don't want others to see your things, do you? Lin Yi was a little speechless. When did it become his thing? However, he still took off Xuanyuan's coat and gave it to Song Lingshan, then said, I'm leaving first. By the way, when you have time, you can buy some of this aphrodisiac and try it. Song Lingshan was stunned after hearing what Lin Yi said, and looked at Lin Yi with a strange expression. Try what? Do you really want to see me perform for you? Try to see if you can break through, Lin Yi said lightly. You can break through from the middle stage of the yellow rank to the late stage of the yellow rank in this way. The internal energy method you practice is really a bit strange. Did she misunderstand Lin Yi? Song Lingshan's face was a little hot. Even if she had to give up, Song Lingshan had a sense of shame. She didn't turn against Lin Yi because she really had no choice. Not only did she need Lin Yi's help, but he had also seen her. What's the point of turning against him? It's better to get some benefits like before. Besides, she didn't have a boyfriend, so she didn't have too much psychological burden. But Lin Yi's next words made Song Lingshan forget her shame and stared blankly. She had broken through? A breakthrough from the peak of the middle yellow rank to the late yellow rank? Was it true? How did Lin Yi tell that? Song Lingshan subconsciously activated her own internal cultivation method and was surprised to discover that she had indeed reached the late yellow rank. Although it was only at the beginning of the late stage, it was incomparable to her previous peak of the middle yellow rank. Song Lingshan hadn't expected such a breakthrough. It was too dramatic, wasn't it? If she told anyone, no one would believe it. No wonder Lin Yi looked so strange and asked her to buy some more aphrodisiacs to try. But how did Lin Yi know her own strength? She hadn't even noticed the change in her own strength, so how could Lin Yi have noticed? Could Lin Yi be even stronger than she was now, already at the peak of the late yellow rank? Song Lingshan didn't dare to think any further. She couldn't believe her eyes. Lin Yi must be only 18 or 19, right? At this age, he was already at the peak of the late yellow rank, or even at the Xuan rank. How could it be possible? Song Lingshan suddenly felt like she had found a rich man. Had she found a treasure? Chapter 659 The Place in My Heart. This kind of expert is what every major family would dedicate all their resources to cultivating. No one knows how far an 18 or 19-year-old Xuan level expert will go in the future. With such a master, the family has a say for decades to come, guaranteeing its survival. Are there so many benefits to pretending to be a brainless girl? Song Lingshan clenched her fists. She decided she would continue to act like a fool. With such a master's help, wouldn't she be able to achieve anything she wants? Watching Lin Yi's retreating figure, Song Lingshan felt a complex mix of emotions. She didn't know the true nature of her relationship with Lin Yi, and the complexity was giving her a headache. This was the first time in her life that she had experienced such close contact with a man. Lin Yi was also the first man to have seen her private parts. Song Lingshan should have been angry, but she didn't. Besides shyness, she felt a subtle excitement and pleasure when she recalled the past. That moment was truly wonderful. Should she try it regularly in the future? This bold idea startled Song Lingshan, and she gripped the hidden camera tightly. She absolutely couldn't let this thing get out, or she'd be doomed. As for being seen by Lin Yi, Song Lingshan didn't feel the same burden. She was a complete idiot in front of him, already acting like a spoiled brat. Now, it was just a shameful thing for him to watch her do. After all, embarrassing herself once was embarrassing, and so would it be 8 or 10 times. Song Lingshan quickly put the matter behind her and began to think about the mastermind behind the kidney-stealing ring. She thought it would be easy for Lin Yi to capture the ringleader, but he didn't. He was probably here simply to save her. Song Lingshan knew Lin Yi all too well. He was the type of person who didn't care about anything that didn't concern him. But the fact that he was minding his own business made her very happy. At least her idiotic act wasn't in vain. She still has a certain place in Lin Yi's heart, and he didn't ignore it. Thinking of this, Song Lingshan shook her head again. She cursed herself in her heart. Song Lingshan, Have you been pretending to be a brain-dead girl for too long, and are you really a little brain-dead? You have a certain place in his heart, so you are so complacent? Why do you act so much like a concubine in the old society? No, I asked him to help me, so I must have a good relationship with him. Song Lingshan changed her mind and comforted herself again. Zhong Pinliang didn't expect that today would be his lucky day. Not only did the poisoning succeed, but not long after, he actually received a call from his father, who found a kidney source that matched him, and it turned out to be Lin Yi's kidney. Zhong Pinliang was in a state of extreme excitement until he entered the operating room to receive anesthesia. He thought that if he wanted to seek revenge on Lin Yi, he would have to wait until Zhang Neipao came down the mountain before returning, but he didn't expect that Lin Yi would suffer retribution so soon. To be on the safe side, Zhong Pinliang had his blood drawn and tested again with a blood sample previously collected from Lin Yi. After everything was normal, Zhong Pinliang was wheeled into the operating room. Not far from his own surgical stretcher, Zhong Pinliang saw another stretcher with a person lying on it. The person was wearing a hospital gown and a disposable surgical cap. Under the light of the operating lamp, it was impossible to tell who it was, but it was undoubtedly Lin Yi. Mr. Zhang, please don't enter the operating room. This is a critical surgical area. I can't just go in casually. If I bring in bacteria and infect Lin Yi, it's not a big deal, but it would be bad if I infect your son. The tattooed man stopped Zhang Fabei from entering the operating room. Okay, I'll wait here, Zhang Fabei nodded. Thank you so much, and Xuanyuan Pinliang was able to find a suitable kidney donor so quickly. It was just a coincidence. The tattooed man waved his hand and said. Zhong Pinliang was anesthetized, and Lin Yi, also known as Xuanyuan, was also anesthetized. As for why Xuanyuan was in a coma, Dr. Wang, who was performing the surgery, had no intention of finding out. All he had to do was transplant this man's kidney to Zhong Pinliang. Since joining Xuanyuan's organization, Dr. Wang had been dealing with kidneys every day, so he was incredibly familiar with kidney transplant surgery. He could do it with his eyes closed, to be frank. With a flash of the sharp scalpel, Xuanyuan was cut open, and Dr. Wang expertly cut out his kidney. This is a really good kidney, Dr. Wang couldn't help but say after seeing Xuanyuan's kidney. If this kidney were to be sold, it would probably fetch a good price. Although there was a partition between the operating room and the preparation room, sounds could still be heard. Dr. Wang's words were clearly directed at the tattooed man. But this surgery was specifically ordered by young Master Wen. The kidney will be donated to Zhong Pinliang free of charge. No matter how good a kidney is, it can't be sold, the tattooed man laughed. He said this simply to do Zhong Fabei a favor, to make Zhong Fabei remember his kindness. Brother Tattoo, don't worry. Zhong Fabei, I'm not ungrateful. After this, I will definitely visit young Master Wen to express my gratitude. How could Zhong Fabei not understand what the tattooed man meant? But if his son's kidney transplant was a success, then spending hundreds of thousands of dollars wouldn't be a problem. That's not necessary. Dr. Wang, do the surgery properly. The tattooed man smiled and instructed Dr. Wang. Don't worry, Dr. Wang was considered a core member of the organization, but he had no chance to speak directly with Xuanyuan. Most of the time, it was the tattooed man who conveyed Xuanyuan's intentions to him. Therefore, he had only vaguely seen what Xuanyuan looked like a few times. He had never realized that Lin Yi lying on the operating table was actually his boss, Xuanyuan. The operation was a success. Dr. Wang quickly sutured Zhong Pinliang's wound and then said to the tattooed man, Brother Tattoo, the operation was a success. Mr. Zhang is doing fine. But, what do we do with his kidney? Dr. Wang was referring to Lin Yi. The tattooed man was stunned. He really didn't know what to do with Lin Yi. Xuanyuan hadn't explained it before, and the tattooed man didn't dare to make his own decision. So he said, let me call and ask Master Wen for instructions first. Chapter 660 Throw it away. After the tattooed man finished speaking, he called Xuanyuan on his cell phone, but after a few rings, the call was disconnected. The tattooed man was slightly taken aback. Could something be wrong with Xuanyuan? He wanted to call again, but was afraid of being blamed by Xuanyuan. So he said to Dr. Wang, let's do it like before and have someone drop him off at the hospital entrance. Lin Yi had lost one kidney. If he didn't stay in the hospital for a while, he would most likely die. The tattooed man knew that Xuanyuan wanted to teach Lin Yi a lesson, but he absolutely couldn't kill him here. If he wanted to kill Lin Yi, he wouldn't have removed just one kidney, he could have removed both. So, after a moment's hesitation, the tattooed man decided to use the old method, drop Lin Yi off at the hospital entrance. That would naturally encourage someone to come and treat him. Zhang Fabei, thanking him profusely, took Zhong Pinliang home to recuperate. The tattooed man naturally had to drive Zhong Pinliang and his son back home. On their way there, he had driven a commercial vehicle with a completely enclosed trunk to prevent Zhong Pinliang and his son from knowing the location of the headquarters. As for poor Xuanyuan, Dr. Wang waved his hand with a domineering gesture, and several burly men arrived. They dragged him out of the operating room like a corpse and casually dumped him in an unlicensed, shabby van. They drove towards the hospital. Passing the First People's Hospital, Xuanyuan was dumped at the hospital gate like a dead dog before the van sped away. After sending Zhang Fabei and his son to the hospital, the tattooed man drove back to the kidney-snatching ring's headquarters. But to his surprise, he received a call from the hook-nosed man shortly after arriving. "Brother Tattoo, this is bad. The chick in the dungeons escaped." The hook-nosed man was sweating with anxiety. He had previously injected aphrodisiacs into the dungeon and had intended to check on Song Lingshan's condition through the surveillance footage. But then he remembered that the chick was the tattooed man's to enjoy. If he had seen some unpleasant scenes in advance, would he hold a grudge against him? With that thought in mind, the hook-nosed man didn't dare to watch the footage. But then he thought about it and felt unsure. He wasn't sure if the aphrodisiac had worked, so he went to the monitoring room and turned on the surveillance footage. To his surprise, the footage showed a complete signal interruption. This startled the hook-nosed man, who rushed to the dungeon to check what was going on. But what he saw there shocked him. The dungeon's iron door had been forcibly broken down, and Song Lingshan, who was inside, had long since disappeared. The hook-nosed man was horrified and quickly called the tattooed man to inform him of the situation. So, the tattooed man received the call upon returning to headquarters. "She ran away? Why did she run away? Where did she go?" the tattooed man asked, startled. That was Song Lingshan from the criminal police team. This was no joke. If she really got away, wouldn't headquarters be wiped out? "I don't know either. The surveillance footage in the dungeon has been destroyed," the hook-nosed man said cautiously. "Didn't I tell you to drug her? How could she get away?" The tattooed man was furious. Could the hook-nosed man have forgotten? "Yes, I did. I followed your instructions and drugged her with an aphrodisiac, waiting for you to have sex with her. But who knew she'd get away?" the hook-nosed man said with a bitter face. "What? You drugged her with an aphrodisiac? Who told you to drug her with an aphrodisiac?" The tattooed man was furious when he heard this. "Drugged Song Lingshan with an aphrodisiac? You were just doing it for fun, weren't you?" "You," the hook-nosed man said, not understanding what he had done wrong. "Didn't you tell me to drug her?" "I did tell you to drug her, but not an aphrodisiac." The tattooed man was so angry that he almost rolled his eyes. This guy was so good at taking matters into his own hands, wasn't he? "Huh? When you said you wanted to enjoy this girl, I thought you meant to drug her with an aphrodisiac," the hook-nosed man said with grievance. "Damn it. This is trouble." The tattooed man, after hearing the hook-nosed man's explanation, understood why he had misunderstood. It wasn't entirely the hook-nosed man's fault. It was his own failure to explain clearly that had led to the misunderstanding. Song Lingshan was a yellow rank expert. She hadn't been drugged, so she would have woken up, so her escape wasn't surprising. The key question was, where had she gone? Was she near headquarters, or had she already escaped? "Brother Tattoo, have I gotten into trouble?" The hook-nosed man sensed something was amiss. Logically, it was just a captured kidney donor. If she'd escaped, she'd be fine. But the tattooed man's reaction was clearly different. "Close the headquarters gates immediately and search for that girl." The tattooed man had to act decisively, ordering the hook-nosed man. He feared it would be too late. If Song Lingshan escaped and could contact the outside world, it would be all over. After the blockade order was issued, the tattooed man hurriedly called in Xuanyuan. When Lin Yi left, he went to the room where he was arrested before and put on his clothes, and then casually threw on Xuanyuan's clothes and phone into the room. So after the tattooed man dialed the phone, it kept ringing until it automatically hung up, and no one answered. The tattooed man was very anxious, but there was no other way. He could only call him Xuanyuan again and again. In any case, This matter must be notified to Xuanyuan as soon as possible, so that he can be prepared to deal with it. Otherwise, if Songlingshan has really escaped, then no one will be able to escape. Suddenly, the sound of sirens came from outside the window. The tattooed man was startled and looked out the window, only to see that the headquarters had been surrounded by dozens of police cars, including many special police cars. The red and blue police lights were intertwined, which was very spectacular. The tattooed man smiled miserably. It's over, it's really over. His remedial measures were clearly too late. Songlingshan had already escaped and mobilized troops to surround his headquarters. At this moment, the tattooed man didn't even think about resisting or escaping. Surrounded by so many police officers, he couldn't escape unless he could become invisible or Ultraman. But where was Xuanyuan? The tattooed man hoped that Xuanyuan was not at the headquarters at the moment. If that was the case, as long as Xuanyuan was okay, he would be relieved. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 661 Taking Responsibility. From the first day the tattooed man joined the Yin family and helped the Fire Wolfgang sell kidneys, he had anticipated this day would come. The Yin family had been very kind to him. His brothers and sisters back home were all in college, and their former thatched cottage had been turned into a villa. His parents had accumulated tens of millions in savings, which the tattooed man had sent home piece by piece. His family had become one of the wealthiest in the village, and even the town. His family knew he was working, but they didn't know what he did. The tattooed man's expenses here were minimal, so he gave all his bonuses back home. He felt he had made a good living, and that his brothers and sisters and parents were able to enjoy a comfortable life. He had nothing else to ask for. He had been in prison before, and didn't have a bright future. If the Yin family hadn't appreciated him, he might be living on the streets now. So the tattooed man simply hoped that Xuanyuan, the young master of the Yin family, could escape safely. Then, he could just take care of his own family. As for the crimes of the kidney harvesting ring, he had long been prepared to shoulder the responsibility alone. It was almost as if no one besides Dr. Wang knew there was a boss behind the tattooed man. Of course, Li Shihua, Bing Xiao, and the others knew about it, but they were all on the same side of the street, and no one would break the rules and report it to the police. The tattooed man, taking advantage of the police's absence, quickly made his way to the operating room and saw Dr. Wang, who had a blank expression on his face. Perhaps Dr. Wang shared the same thought, having anticipated this day. Brother Tattoo, has this day finally arrived? Dr. Wang's expression was vacant, but his tone was calm. Yes, it has, the tattooed man nodded. If we're caught, what will the crime be? Dr. Wang asked. Even death, life imprisonment, right? The tattooed man smiled. You came here to kill me, right? Dr. Wang raised his head and glanced at the tattooed man. The tattooed man nodded honestly. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle it and will turn young master Wen in. Haha, I can handle it, but I don't. I don't want my son to know his father is a criminal, an unscrupulous doctor who specializes in harvesting kidneys for profit. Dr. Wang said calmly, my son's dream was to become a doctor, too. He was proud of his father, and I don't want him to be disappointed. After I die, can you tell the police that I was forced into this? Is that okay? This is my last request, of course. The tattooed man nodded. You defied the coercion of evil forces and committed suicide by taking poison. Your son will be proud of you. Dr. Wang smiled faintly, stood up, and retrieved a reagent from the cabinet. This was the one he used to kill people, but he always kept a bottle for himself. Dr. Wang deftly drew the reagent into the syringe and injected it into the man without hesitation. Over the years, the money he left his son was enough for him to study abroad. He hoped his son would follow the right path and become a good doctor. This was Dr. Wang's last thought, and he slunk limply into his chair. Oh, it's my turn to take the blame. The tattooed man turned and went downstairs. Outside the headquarters, police were already shouting through a megaphone. He walked out with his hands raised, glancing at the wall of police before him. Unsurprisingly, Songlingshan was standing in the front row. But why did Songlingshan's coat look familiar? Before the tattooed man could even consider it, the police rushed over, handcuffed her, and forced her into a police car. There weren't many people at headquarters, Only about 20, including the nurses and a few burly men. The dozens of police cars made the situation seem rather overwhelming. Still, this was a major case, a provincial one, so it was only natural that it deserved more attention. Take everyone back to the station for separate interrogations, Song Lingshan ordered her men with a wave of her hand. At this moment, Song Lingshan was a completely different person from the one who had acted like a spoiled brat in front of Lin Yi. She had regained her usual efficiency. Report: no victims found at the scene. The dungeon door has been forcibly broken down, leaving no one inside. The last officer in charge of cleaning up the situation emerged and reported to Song Lingshan, the only deceased is likely a member of the criminal gang, the doctor who performed the surgery. Alright, everyone from Team 4 will remain behind to guard the area, and the rest of you can withdraw. Song Lingshan knew there were no victims. If there were any victims, she was the only one in the dungeon before, and now that she'd emerged, there was no one left. Sitting in the police car, listening to the praise and admiration from her officers, Song Lingshan felt like she was in a dream. The case was solved already? Too fast, wasn't it? Yesterday, she'd been agonizing over this case, and today, it was a resounding victory. Lin Yi, what kind of person are you? Song Lingshan suddenly found Lin Yi increasingly confusing. She'd just asked him for help yesterday, and today, the case was solved. While it might have been a bit of a fluke, Lin Yi's skill was undeniable. Unconsciously, Song Lingshan's attitude towards Lin Yi had also changed. Before, she had simply thought Lin Yi was lucky, but now it seemed that wasn't entirely true. Furthermore, her previous thoughts were truly naive and ridiculous. She even wanted to compete with Lin Yi. Thinking of how Lin Yi had knocked down the dungeon door with a single kick, Song Lingshan sighed in dismay. Although she had now reached the late yellow rank, that iron door shouldn't be a problem for her, but it certainly wasn't something she could easily knock down with just a few kicks. In the past, Song Lingshan had felt a little uncomfortable with Lin Yi acting like a spoiled brat in front of her, but now, she seemed to have gotten used to it. At least Song Lingshan wasn't angry anymore, and instead felt a subtle sense of satisfaction. Was there something wrong with her? Why did she seem to have a bit of a masochistic streak? Captain Song, I'm afraid you're going to get a promotion this time. Liu Wangli and Song Lingshan knew each other well. When Song Lingshan first arrived at the police station, she had been the captain of the 1st Squadron and Liu Wangli's direct superior. I was just promoted to captain, how could I get another promotion? Although Song Lingshan said this, she was secretly looking forward to it. Even if he didn't get promoted, his rank should be raised, right? That's true, but this is a big case. Captain Song, you took a risk, so at least it should be a second-class merit. Right, Liu Wangli said with a smile. Chapter 662. Yao fainted from anger? It's not too late to talk about this after the interrogation results come out. We don't know if these people are all the criminals, and whether there are any fish that have slipped through the net. Song Lingshan felt that the case was solved too quickly, and the criminals actually surrendered without any resistance, which made Song Lingshan feel a little weird. Although they had no hostages, and facing the police force below, there was no chance of escape. But Song Lingshan always felt that there must be some hidden secrets, especially the doctor who performed the surgery. Why did he commit suicide? Was he forced to do so, or did he commit suicide out of fear of punishment? These must be investigated one by one, so it's too early to say that the case is solved now. Chu Mengyao didn't have a big appetite. Although she was eating desperately, how could she finish 6 dishes and a soup by herself? After a few bites of each dish, she was almost full. Chu Mengyao could only comfort herself, although I eat less, but I eat every dish, so the nutrition is balanced and I am healthy. Who cares if you, Tang Yun, think I'm wasteful? As long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao stopped forcing herself to eat. After a few bites, she put down her chopsticks and said, Xiao Shu, I'm full. Let's go back to the classroom. Oh, but Sister Yao, you haven't finished yet, Chen Yushu asked, pointing at the food on the table. No, I can't eat any more. You don't want me turned up like you did last time, do you? Chu Mengyao was truly exhausted. Oh, forget it then. Although Sister Yao always wants to assassinate me, I don't want to assassinate you, Chen Yushu said. Chu Mengyao was speechless. When did I ever assassinate you? The two of them walked out of the cafeteria hand in hand. As they passed Tang Yun's table, the eldest daughter raised her head proudly, not even glancing at her. Liu Xinwen, however, curled her lips. What are you so proud of? You can't finish your food, right? What a waste of food. Chu Mengyao was angry, but she ignored her. Once this kind of thing got going, it would definitely take time to decide the outcome. Now that there were more people in the cafeteria, Chu Mengyao didn't want to be laughed at. Back in the classroom, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu took out their MP4 players and started watching cartoons. Every day at noon when they were free, they would watch some cartoons. Sister Yao, Zhong Pinliang hasn't bothered you these days. Chen Yashu was a little uncomfortable with this. In the past, Zhong Pinliang came to pursue Chu Mengyao every day, and Chen Yashu could always get some benefits from him. Why do you want him to come? Chu Mengyao felt that her life had become much more peaceful without Zhong Pinliang bothering her. Oh, if he doesn't bother you anymore, you don't need a shield. Will Brother Arrow be laid off? Chen Yashu said this with some reluctance. Chu Mengyao was slightly stunned by Chen Yashu's words. She hadn't thought about this problem at first, and she hadn't thought about it in this way at all. Yes, the original intention of asking Lin Yi to come was to find a shield to get rid of Zhong Pinliang's harassment. Now the goal has been achieved. Zhong Pinliang has torn his face with her. After what happened before, it is impossible for him to pursue her again. So is Lin Yi's work really over? The young lady's heart suddenly felt a little sour. She had not been with Lin Yi for a long time, but it was not too short either. She seemed to have gotten used to his presence. Chu Mengyao was a little annoyed that Chen Yashu suddenly brought up this matter. If she didn't say anything, she could pretend that nothing had happened and would not deliberately think about it. Then Lin Yi would still be the same Lin Yi, her follower. But now that Chen Yashu had said it, should she fire Lin Yi? He was so hateful and a philanderer. He deserved to be fired. But he seemed quite pitiful, right? In this strange city, an orphan came here to work. If she fired him, what would he do? Well, out of sympathy for him, she couldn't fire him for the time being. She couldn't just abandon him after he had done his work, right? That wasn't what a good child should do. Chu Mengyao found a suitable excuse for herself. Moreover, it seemed that she was still in danger. Xiaoshu, Zhong Pinliang is already capable of doing such crazy things. There's no guarantee that he won't become even crazier in the future. Our situation is still very dangerous, and we need someone to protect us closely, Chu Mengyao said, and at the moment, Lin Yi is still qualified, so why not use him for now? Besides, he's quite pitiful, an orphan, otherwise he would be homeless. Oh, he can live at Tang Yun's house, Chen Yashu interrupted. Chu Mengyao was furious and glared at Chen Yashu. Is the little girl doing this on purpose? Sister Yao, why are you glaring at me? Am I wrong? Oh, I get it. If you want to pursue Brother Arrow, you can't let him go to Tang Yun's house, Chen Yashu said with a grin. I finally found out Sister Yao's secret. I'm Spy Shu 007, Chu Mengyao was so angry. Who wants to pursue Lin Yi? I'm the eldest daughter, how can I pursue him? It's almost like he's pursuing me, but I may not agree. But thinking of Lin Yi's disregard for her, Chu Mengyao felt a surge of blood. For some reason, she felt dizzy and fell on the table. Sister Yao, Chen Yashu saw Chu Mengyao lying on the table and ignoring her, so she called her. But Chu Mengyao didn't answer, and Chen Yashu was suddenly a little scared. Isn't it okay if I don't say anything? I was just joking, don't ignore me. Chu Mengyao still didn't move. Sister Yao, what are you doing? Don't ignore Xiaoshu. Xiaoshu is your good friend, okay? Chen Yashu thought Chu Mengyao was really angry, so she pulled her arm coquettishly. However, Chu Mengyao still didn't move at all. Even when Chen Yashu pulled her, she moved twice out of inertia. This time, Chen Yashu really felt that something was wrong. Sister Yao, don't scare me. Are you going to faint because of me? I just said that you are pursuing Brother Arrow. Why are you fainted? Chu Mengyao still didn't move. Chen Yashu didn't care about joking this time. She was really anxious. She didn't know where she got the strength from, but she carried Chu Mengyao on her back, stumbled out of the classroom, and ran towards the school clinic. The potential of the human body is unlimited. Chen Yashu didn't have such great strength, but at this moment, there was only one thought in her mind, that is, Sister Yao must not be in trouble. So she didn't even consider whether she could carry Chu Mengyao on her back, and rushed out with Chu Mengyao on her back. Although there were not many people in the classroom, They were all shocked by Chen Yushu's behavior. Before, Chen Yushu was talking to Chu Mengyao in a low voice, and they didn't hear clearly what the two said, but Chen Yushu ran out with Chu Mengyao on her back, which was a bit shocking. How could she carry her? Chapter 663 I don't love Brother Arrow anymore. School doctor, Sister Yao has fainted, please help take a look. Chen Yushu's tone of voice changed. She had changed her usual cute tone and was now a little hoarse. After carrying Chu Mengyao into the school clinic, Chen Yushu was about to put her on the bed in the clinic, but she found that there were already several students lying on the bed. There were also many students and teachers in the clinic, and it seemed that something had happened. Another one, the school doctor frowned when he saw Chen Yushu carrying Chu Mengyao in, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead in anxiety. Why are there so many people? Why hasn't the ambulance from the hospital arrived yet? The students fainting and coma made the school doctor, Teacher Li, a little overwhelmed. He couldn't tell what caused the coma. The symptoms of each of these students were very similar, that is, pale face and slightly rapid breathing. Dr. Li, what's the situation? Upon hearing the news, Dean of Studies Wang Xifeng rushed over. Seeing the school clinic filled with teachers and students, he frowned. Teachers and students who aren't involved, please leave. Don't crowd in here. The air is bad. Wang Xifeng's words were effective. Teachers and students obediently left the clinic. However, since the students inside were from their classes or close friends, they were hesitant to leave and lingered in the hallway, refusing to leave. One person, however, remained. Chen Yushu, still clutching Chu Mengyao tightly, sat anxiously in the corner of the bed. Wang Xifeng knew her and naturally wouldn't send her away. Instead, seeing Chu Mengyao in her arms, he was startled. Wasn't this the chairman's daughter? Had she fainted, too? Sweat dripped down Wang Xifeng's forehead. Without bothering to ask, he quickly called Principal Ding Bingguang to report the situation. Principal Ding, where are you? Over a dozen students are unconscious at school, including Director Chu's daughter, Chu Mengyao. Unable to handle the situation, Wang Xifeng had no choice but to call Ding Bingguang. Ding Bingguang had gone to a meeting at the Education Bureau and hadn't returned to school for lunch. Instead, he had grabbed a bite to eat outside with several other school principals. Upon hearing Wang Xifeng's call, he was horrified. Without bothering to explain to the other principals, he simply said, "Something's happened at school." He hurriedly pulled the driver out of the restaurant and into the car before asking, "Old Wang, what did you say? Over a dozen students are unconscious? And Chu Mengyao? What's going on? I just got here too, so I'm not entirely sure." School Dr. Li, what's wrong with these students? Why are so many fainting all of a sudden? Wang Xifeng finally found time to ask the anxiously standing by. Director Wang, I don't know either. I've never seen these symptoms before, and I'm not sure if it's an acute infectious disease. I've called the emergency center, and the ambulance from the hospital should be here soon, School Dr. Li said cautiously. As School Dr. Li spoke, Wang Xifeng was on his phone, so Ding Bingguang heard everything clearly. His head buzzed. If something happened to the school, not only would it damage its reputation, but even the group might be implicated. Old Wang, I'll be back right away. You must keep calm. Don't let anything happen to the students, Ding Bingguang anxiously ordered. I understand. I'll do my best to control this situation, Wang Xifeng nodded gravely, but he also knew the situation was beyond his control. While he was on the phone, more students were brought in unconscious by the teacher, and there were more than one. This gave Wang Xifeng a headache, and he was also rapidly pondering the cause of the student's condition. If he didn't find the cause, more students would continue to fall ill, and by then, it would be too late. However, even School Dr. Li didn't know the specific situation. How could he, a non-medical graduate, possibly know the details? So, while Wang Xifeng was waiting for Ding Bingguang, he could only pray that the hospital ambulance would arrive quickly so that the students could go to a regular hospital for treatment as soon as possible. Chen Yushu was a little confused. She originally thought that Chu Mengyao had fainted because of her anger, but now it seems that this is not the case. It seems that many people have the same symptoms as Sister Yao. What happened to these people? However, despite this, Chen Yushu became even more worried. If she had just fainted from anger, it would be easy to deal with, but now it might not be because of anger, but there must be other reasons. Chen Yushu was a little anxious and subconsciously thought of Lin Yi. The last time she was about to die, It was Lin Yi who saved her, so she planned to ask Lin Yi to save Chu Mengyao. Chen Yushu quickly took out her mobile phone and dialed Lin Yi's number, but after waiting for a long time, it was automatically hung up and Lin Yi did not answer the call. Chen Yushu called again, but the situation was the same, no one answered. "Brother Arrow, where have you been? If anything happens to Sister Yao, I will decide not to like you anymore. I will never forgive you in my entire life," Chen Yushu said to herself angrily. While waiting for the ambulance, several more students were sent to the school clinic because of coma. Up to now, there are a total of 28 students in the school clinic waiting for the ambulance to take them to the hospital. During this period, school Dr. Li made several more calls, urging the emergency center and asking them to send more ambulances, because these students would take at least 7 or 8 ambulances. However, in the following time, until the first class in the afternoon, no more students were sent to the school clinic. It seemed that this round of coma was finally over for the time being, which made Wang Xixing and school Dr. Li breathe a sigh of relief. Ding Bingguang arrived at the school almost at the same time as the ambulance. The students were carried into the ambulance one by one. Chen Yushu naturally refused to leave Chu Mengyao alone, so she accompanied Chu Mengyao to the ambulance. Ding Bingguang and Wang Xixing also knew Chen Yushu, so they naturally did not stop her, but got into the ambulance with her. School Dr. Li stayed in the school with another ambulance that arrived later. In case there were still unconscious students, they could be sent to the hospital as soon as possible. "Sister Yao, you have to hold on." Chen Yushu held Chu Mengyao's hand and was about to cry. She was scared and called Lin Yi's cell phone again and again, but Lin Yi just didn't answer the phone. For the first time, Chen Yushu felt a little annoyed with Brother Arrow. Chapter 664, Cause of Coma? Xiao Shu, what happened to Yao? Can you tell us what happened? Ding Bingguang was eager to get to the bottom of the matter, but he hadn't heard any useful information from school Dr. Li and Wang Xixing. So he set his sights on Chen Yushu, who had been with Chu Mengyao and likely had a better understanding of how she collapsed. However, Chen Yushu's story was identical to that of the other students. They'd all finished their meals in the cafeteria and returned to the classroom shortly before fainting. Initially, school Dr. Li suspected food poisoning, considering the students had only just finished their lunch. However, this assumption proved untenable, as the number of students in a coma was only a small fraction of the total number of students who ate in the cafeteria, only 28 so far. This made food poisoning much less likely, as why were the other students so unharmed? The possibility that it was caused by a specific food was also unlikely, as it was unlikely that only 28 students would have eaten a single dish. Therefore, the specific cause of the coma could only be determined after visiting the hospital. Along the way, the ambulance roared through several red lights. This type of ambulance convoy was rare, but other vehicles on the road actively moved out of the way. The dispatch of so many ambulances at once clearly indicated something serious was going on. Ding Bingguang composed his words and called Chu Pengzhan. He had to inform the chairman of such a serious incident at school. Furthermore, Chu Mengyao was one of the students in the coma, making it even more imperative for him to notify Chu Pengzhan. Chu Pengzhan was in a meeting when his phone rang. He didn't want to answer, but seeing Ding Bingguang on the caller ID, he answered anyway. After all, Ding Bingguang rarely called him, aside from his weekly performance reports at the group. If it wasn't business, then something must have happened to Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, or Lin Yi, for him to call personally. Thinking of this, Chu Pengzhan gestured to everyone to wait and answered the phone. "Principal Ding, is there anything I can do for you?" "I'm in a meeting." Chu Pengzhan's words were very clear. If Ding Bingguang didn't have an important matter, he could call back later. "Chairman Chu, something happened at the school," Ding Bingguang said seriously. During lunch break, 28 students suddenly fainted in the classroom for unknown reasons. Chu Mengyao was among them. "What?" Chu Pengzhan stood up subconsciously in shock. Ding Bingguang's news before was shocking enough. More than 20 students fainted at the same time. Such a major incident has never happened since the school was founded. If it is not handled properly, it will have a serious impact on the reputation of the school and even the reputation of the group. What Chu Pengzhan is most worried about is the safety of his daughter Chu Mengyao. Chu Mengyao is a part of his life. Chu Mengyao also fainted. How can he have the mind to continue the meeting? He waved his hand, signaling for the meeting to be adjourned. "The meeting is suspended. Li Fu, come with me." "Yes, Mr. Chu, Uncle Fu nodded and followed Chu Pengzhan out of the meeting room. As Chu Pengzhan's confidant, he could naturally see that Chu Pengzhan was in a bad mood. He had clearly been caught off guard. At Pengzhan Group, Chu Pengzhan's word was his bond, and no one dared to dissent. With Zi Guangbo and Jin Gubeng's disastrous departures still fresh in their minds, how could these new shareholders be so cautious? Seeing Chu Pengzhan leave for something, no one dared to ask further questions. After a while, they each left the meeting room and returned to their offices. Chu Pengzhan, brow furrowed, held the phone, whispering, "Is Yao okay? Is she in danger, Mr. Chu? We're not sure yet. We're almost at the hospital, just a few minutes' drive," Ding Bingong said. "Okay, which hospital? I'll be there right away." Chu Pengzhan was anxious, but there was nothing he could do. "At the Second People's Hospital," Ding Bingong said. "The best hospitals in the city are the First and Second People's Hospitals. However, because the First People's Hospital has been established longer and has a longer history, many people respect it more than the Second. However, the Second People's Hospital was also spun off from the First People's Hospital. It was established after receiving funding from Guanzhou's Sun, Mingyang Medical Group. The doctors there were former First People's Hospital employees, and the medical facilities were newly purchased. As a result, many young people have begun to recognize the Second People's Hospital. The First People's Hospital couldn't immediately dispatch 7 or 8 ambulances, so the Second People's Hospital went to the school to pick up the unconscious students. "Okay, I got it," Chu Pengzhan said to Uncle Fu after hanging up the phone. "Go to the Second People's Hospital. Yao has fainted. 28 other students at the school have also fainted from unknown causes. We're rushing there immediately, okay, Mr. Chu." Upon hearing that Chu Mengyao had also fainted, Uncle Fu quickly started the car and rushed to the Second People's Hospital. 5 minutes later, ambulances pulled up to the entrance of the Second People's Hospital. Medical staff were already waiting outside, wheeling the unconscious students to the emergency room one by one. Chen Yushu walked Chu Mengyao to the door of the emergency room. Only after the doctor told her that the patient's family could only wait outside did Chen Yushu reluctantly let go of Chu Mengyao's hand. "Sister Yao, you have to hold on." Ding Bingong, Wang Xifan, and Chen Yushu waited anxiously at the entrance of the emergency room, anxiously awaiting the results. Principal Ding, Director Wang, Xia Oshu, Chu Pengzhan quickly arrived at the hospital. Seeing the 3 people outside the emergency room, he strode over. Uncle Fu was also anxiously accompanying Chu Pengzhan. "Mr. Chu, Uncle Chu," Ding Bingong, Wang Xifan, and Chen Yushu shouted at the same time. Ding Bingong smiled bitterly and said to Chu Pengzhan, "They are all in the emergency room, and the results are still unknown." Chu Pengzhan nodded, also looking anxious. "How is the school? We must keep it stable and don't let unnecessary panic among the students." "That won't happen. It has been controlled in a small area." Ding Bingong nodded and said, "It's just the parents of the students. Do we need to notify them?" Chapter 665 Fierce Quarrel. "This still needs to be notified." Chu Pengzhan pondered for a moment and said, "Don't shirk responsibility. If it is really a problem with this school, then we must give an explanation to the parents. Even if it is not the school's responsibility, we must do our best to rescue the students. Medical expenses and so on will be borne by the group." "Okay, Director Wang. This matter will be left to you to communicate with the students' parents. Be careful not to intensify the conflict and try your best to maintain the reputation of the school," Ding Bingong instructed Wang Xifan. "Okay, Principal Ding, I'll do it right away." Wang Xifan nodded and began calling people at the school to review the files on the comatose student. Soon, parents of the students who had received the news rushed to the hospital, and chaos erupted at the entrance of the emergency room. Some parents were able to inquire about their children's condition normally, but others immediately launched into tirade. "What happened to my child? He was fine when I brought him to your school. How did he become unconscious? What have you done? If anything happens to my child, I'll tear your school down. Who is the principal? How do you manage your school? How did my child become unconscious?" "Everyone, stop arguing. This is a hospital, and your children are in the emergency room. What if your arguing disrupts the doctor's work?" Ding Bingong and Wang Xifan said helplessly, looking at the clamoring parents. "How did you even know our child was in the emergency room? How can you be a principal? A student is unconscious in school. What are you thinking? What are you doing?" A middle-aged woman pointed at Ding Bingong and cursed. Yet, was our student treated unfairly? Did he pass out from corporal punishment? We want to know the truth, another parent joined in. The truth. The truth. The truth. We want the truth, the other parents joined in the shouting. If they were going to make a scene, they should all join in. For the sake of their children, these parents weren't afraid to fight the school to the bitter end. Chu Pengzhan frowned. Seeing the situation was getting heated, he personally walked over and gestured to the angry parents to calm down. Everyone, please be quiet and listen to me. I'm Chu Pengzhan, the chairman of Pengzhan Group. You're the chairman? You want us to be quiet? Can we be quiet? It's not your child in there, so of course you're not in a hurry. Chu Pengzhan was interrupted by the middle-aged woman before he could finish his words. That's right, you're the chairman, so rich. Your children are all princesses and young masters. But our children are nothing. They can even faint in school, another parent said teasingly. Although I'm the chairman of Pengzhan Group and a member of the school's board of directors, I share your feelings. I'm worried and praying for the children inside, Chu Pengzhan said. As parents, what we should do now is wait here for the doctor's results instead of making a scene. It doesn't do the children any good. You're so easygoing. You're not worried about it being your child, are you? The middle-aged woman was clearly a thorn in the side, and her words were the most pointed. You're still worried? Are you worried about the damage to your school's reputation? Yes, you're worried about the school's reputation, aren't you? The other parents chimed in. You've misunderstood. I've already said it. I'm just like you. Standing here, I'm also a parent. Chu Pengzhan shook his head and said, because my daughter, Chu Mengyao, is one of the students in a coma. I'm worried about her too. As for all that corporal punishment you're talking about, it's pure nonsense. Do you think Principal Ding Bingong can still stand here and talk to you after punishing my daughter? I expelled him and sent him home long ago. Chu Pengzhan's words stunned all the parents. They never imagined that Chu Pengzhan's daughter was also one of the students who were in a coma. Then all their previous speculations were really unfounded. Unless the teachers and principal of the school were really bold and didn't want to continue working at the school, they would corporally punish the daughter of the school director. And the middle-aged woman who was shouting the most happily before was now silent. She felt a little ashamed. It seemed that she had really wronged her. The daughter of the chairman was also in a coma, so what right did she have to say about her? Everyone was just a parent who was worried about the child. So the only thing we can do now is to wait for the doctor's results. If it is really the school's responsibility, then the school will definitely have no choice but to do it. Even if it is not the school's responsibility, the school will do its best to treat the children, and the medical expenses will be fully borne by the school, Chu Pengzhan continued. After hearing what Chu Pengzhan said, the parents who were making trouble fell silent. What Chu Pengzhan said was very reasonable and they could not refute it. Should they wait for the doctor's results first? Time ticked by as Chu Pengzhan and the students' parents anxiously awaited the doctor's results. However, the emergency room lights remained on, indicating that rescue efforts were ongoing. After all, with over 20 students, the situation wouldn't be resolved overnight. Suddenly, there was a flurry of hurried footsteps and a commotion as several reporters, carrying cameras and microphones, arrived. Some of them had been bribed by Li Yi, while others were friends of the bribed individuals. They had received a tip about the hospital admitting 28 unconscious students. This was big news, so even those who hadn't been bribed were eager to get involved. Hello, I'm Ken Lang, a reporter from the XX Daily. I've heard about a particularly nasty mass coma incident at First High School. Are you all parents of the students involved? This reporter was one of Li Yi's bribed reporters and the lead investigator for this interview. He used to be a gangster, but one time, while trying to show off, he got beaten up by a special forces soldier. Unable to make it in the underworld, he used his connections to get a job as a reporter for a street newspaper. Admittedly, this Ken Lang was quite mean. He escalated the conflict sharply right from the start, framing the situation as a serious collective incident. Chu Pengzhan frowned, wondering where these reporters had come from or where they had gotten the information. The parents had already been appeased, and no one was causing trouble anymore. It was impossible for them to have called the reporters. As for them, they had no idea what was going on before they came to the hospital, and it was impossible for them to call reporters when they were worried about their children's safety. Chapter 666 Critical Illness Notice. Could it be that someone else leaked the information? Or were there people within the school who hated him and wanted to make a big deal out of this? Or was there something else going on? However, Regardless of who had summoned these people, it was meaningless. Chu Pengzhan had to find a way to deal with them. Otherwise, letting them go back and write whatever they wanted would have a serious impact on the school. I'm Chu Pengzhan, chairman of the Pengzhan Group. May I ask where you got this news? Chu Pengzhan had to step out and face the reporters. Oh? Chairman Chu is here too? That's great. Let's interview you directly. Canlang's eyes rolled, and he pointed his finger at Chu Pengzhan. If Chu Pengzhan said anything wrong, he could use it as an excuse to provoke a tirade. We've heard that such a serious collective incident occurred at a school under your group. As chairman of the group, what are your thoughts on this? Was it a management oversight, or was there negligence on the part of someone, or were some teachers suspected of committing a crime? Canlang was known for his sharp tongue. He asked a series of sharp and pointed questions. My journalist friend, I don't know how you got wind of this so-called vicious mass incident. Chu Pengzhan smiled faintly and said calmly, but the doctors haven't given any results yet. Even I and all the students' parents don't know the reason for the student's coma. How did you know? Don't worry about how we found out. Of course, someone provided a clue, Canlang said. Even if you knew the reason, you probably wouldn't tell it, right? It's these parents who are kept in the dark. How can you, the school leaders, care about the life and death of other people's children? That's not right. Chairman Chu's daughter is also one of the students who fell into coma this time. How can you say that she doesn't care? The middle-aged woman from before was simple-minded. She spoke the truth completely. Although she was a prick, she was not a bad person. Canlang was stunned. He didn't expect Chu Pengzhan's daughter to be one of the victims. This made his previous words somewhat inconsistent. Chu Pengzhan was not indifferent, but very concerned. However, Canlang reacted quickly and asked on a sudden inspiration, look, even Chairman Chu's daughter has run into trouble in his own school. You can only imagine how chaotic the school's management system is. Do you still dare to send your own children to study here? The middle-aged woman was slightly stunned after hearing this, but after thinking about it carefully, it was indeed the case. If even the daughter of the school chairman has become like this, then wouldn't the children of ordinary people like me be in even greater danger? After hearing what Canlang said, the parents also had some doubts. Yes, the school can't even guarantee the safety of their chairman's daughter. How can it guarantee the safety of other students? Everyone, calm down. Chu Pengzhan waved his hand. Did I tell you this before? I don't know the true cause of the student's coma, and neither does the school doctor. We'll have to wait for the results of the second hospital's examination. If it's truly the school's fault, then they won't shirk responsibility. It's a little too early to say anything now. Chu Pengzhan's words temporarily reassured the parents. True, their children were still in the emergency room. And it was premature to get angry before the cause was fully understood. Canlang hadn't expected Chu Pengzhan to resolve the situation this way, and his brows furious. However, he had taken 20,000 yuan from Li Chihu to discredit Chu Pengzhan's school, so he couldn't just give up. He couldn't just go back and write something he didn't know. Chu Pengzhan would definitely sue the newspaper for defamation, and if he provoked the parents' anger, it wouldn't be defamation, because what he wrote completely represented their opinions. Chu Pengzhan could only take his anger to those parents. But in the current situation, Canlang couldn't say much. However, he wasn't stupid. After a moment's hesitation, he came up with a plan. Since there was no way to incite these parents to cause trouble, why not wait for the hospital's test results to come back and then make a fuss about them? Of course, he didn't know that Li Chihu was the mastermind behind the coma, nor did he know that Li Chihu had sent someone to poison the school. He simply assumed that there was a conflict between Li Chihu and Chu Pengzhan, and that she was using this opportunity to discredit Pengzhan Group and First High School. After waiting for about half an hour, the emergency room door finally opened. A doctor in a white coat hurried out. Seeing the people at the emergency room door, he said, "You are the patient's family, right?" "Yes, yes. How is my child?" The middle-aged woman and a group of parents immediately gathered around, waiting for the doctor's words. Chu Pengzhan wanted to ask, but after all, he represented Pengzhan Group. Although he was worried about his daughter, he could only wait for the doctor to answer the parents' questions. "The situation is not good," the doctor said. "When the patients were brought in, we initially diagnosed them with food poisoning. However, our tests showed that the food in their stomachs did not contain substances that could cause coma." The parents were stunned when they heard the doctor's words. If it wasn't food poisoning, what could it be? and the patient's symptoms don't match those of other acute infectious diseases. Of course, it could also be caused by one of the latest viral infections, the doctor said. All patients are in very unstable conditions. Their physiological functions are rapidly declining. We've given them intravenous fluids, but they haven't escaped danger. Instead, their condition is getting worse. We've isolated them to prevent the spread of infection. Huh? Not escaped danger, but worsened. The parents were even more stunned. What on earth was going on? Even the hospital couldn't solve it? Yes, we have reported this to the higher authorities and informed medical experts. We will have an expert consultation soon, but it's hard to say whether there will be a solution, the doctor said. These are critical illness notices. Please find the one for your child and sign it. Critical illness notice. The parents were completely at a loss this time. They didn't expect that a mere coma would become a critical illness notice. What if you don't sign? We want to see our child, asked another parent. If you don't sign, we can only stop treatment, the doctor explained. After you sign, we will try our best to find a solution, but there is no guarantee of a cure. And you can't contact the patient now. It's not certain whether this is a new round of virus transmission. According to the infectious disease management regulations, we have to isolate the patient. Chapter 667 I have to accompany Sister Yao. The parents were in a mess holding the critical illness notice, and Chu Pengzhan was also dumbfounded. He was no longer thinking about the impact this incident would have on the school. He was worried about his daughter. In Chu Pengzhan's view, his daughter was much more important than the company. The company could be gone, and it could be started over after it was lost. Although he was no longer young, he was not old and could still struggle and fight. But if his daughter was gone, everything was over, and life had lost its meaning. The doctor's words were like a bolt from the blue. Chu Pengzhan never thought that this misfortune would happen to Chu Mengyao. If he could replace it, he would rather be the one who got sick instead of his daughter. When the parents were panicking and worried, the happiest person was none other than Canlang, because he finally thought of a breakthrough. Everyone, look at how dangerous number 1 high school is. An unknown infectious virus has appeared there. Is it a biochemical base? Canlang's words rang out again. Even Chairman Chu's daughter is not immune. You can imagine how terrible it is. The child fainted and the reason cannot be found. Think about your children. They were still happy and healthy when they went to school in the morning. In the blink of an eye, a few hours have passed, and what are you holding in your hands? A critical illness notice. I am not saying something unlucky. Few patients who receive this piece of paper can survive. This is simply too horrible, especially when they die without knowing how they died. After hearing Canlang's words, the parents were also very sad and angry. They regretted and complained that they sent their children to number 1 high school. They thought that number 1 high school was the best high school in the city, but they did not expect that after the children came in, they would embark on the road to death. Canlang was overjoyed and quickly asked people to record this scene with a recorder and a camera. Although Chu Pengzhan also heard Canlang's inflammatory rhetoric, he didn't refute it. His mind was no longer on it. He was concerned about Chu Mengyao's safety and had no time to care whether Canlang was slandering the company and the school. However, this gave Canlang an opportunity. With a series of recordings and incitement, the grieving parents began to criticize the school's management system. Sister Yao will be fine. I want to go see Sister Yao. Where is Sister Yao? I want to go. Chen Yushu suddenly ran towards the emergency room door. The long and narrow corridor led to the infectious disease isolation room at the back. Several nurses were busy spraying disinfectant nearby. They were stunned when they saw Chen Yushu rushing in. What are you doing? You can't come in. This is the infectious disease intensive care isolation room. Get out. The startled nurse hurried to stop Chen Yushu from rushing in. But Chen Yushu was not going to listen. She had only one thought in her mind. She couldn't let Sister Yao get hurt. Even if she did, she would stay with her. As for whether it was contagious or not, she didn't care. The doctor standing at the door was also stunned by Chen Yushu's actions. When he realized what was happening, he hurriedly shouted into the ER door, "Come out. Don't go in. It's dangerous." Chen Yushu ignored him. She didn't know where she found the strength to stop the two nurses. She had already run to the end of the ER corridor and saw a row of isolation rooms, each with a large glass door. Chen Yushu quickly found the isolation room where Chu Mengyao was and, ignoring the doctors' and nurses' shouts, pushed the door open and rushed in. Sister Yao? Sister Yao? What's wrong? Don't scare me. Chen Yushu ran to Chu Mengyao's side, grabbed her hand, and sobbed. With Chen Yushu leading the way, the other parents, after a slight hesitation, followed suit, each finding their own child's isolation room and entering. In this situation, the hospital nurses and doctors could only smile bitterly. There was nothing they could do. They understood these people's actions. Worried about their children's safety, they no longer cared about whether they were contagious or not. Since you're in, you'll have to stay in the hospital until the quarantine is lifted, the doctor shouted helplessly from the emergency room corridor. You're temporarily restricted in your movements. The parents, however, didn't care. They wanted to stay with their children. Even if they were asked to leave, they wouldn't. Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu followed in. Chu Pengzhan entered Chu Mengyao's isolation room, and Uncle Fu followed without hesitation. This also showed Uncle Fu's loyalty to Chu Pengzhan, even risking his own life. Yao, Miss Chu. Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu quickly approached Chu Mengyao's bedside. Seeing Chen Yushu holding Chu Mengyao's hand and crying heartbrokenly, Chu Pengzhan sighed. Yao and Xiaoshu had grown up together and had a close relationship. They weren't sisters, but they were closer than sisters. If anything happened to Yao, Xiaoshu wouldn't feel any better than he did. It was even more unbearable. Chu Mengyao's face was extremely pale, devoid of any color. She was covered in numerous wires. Although Chu Pengzhan couldn't understand the numbers on the screen, he knew it wasn't going to be good. Xiaoshu, stay away from Yao too. Don't infect her. As the elder, Chu Pengzhan naturally had to remind Chen Yushu. Otherwise, if Chen Yushu did get infected, he would be sorry for her parents. No, I don't want to leave. I want to stay with Sister Yao. Chen Yushu shook her head. I want to wait until Sister Yao wakes up. Seeing Chen Yushu's determination, Chu Pengzhan didn't insist. Canling and the reporters looked at each other in bewilderment when they saw the parents entering the emergency room. Those parents dared to go in, but they didn't dare. This infectious disease was no joke. If they got infected, they would die. But Canlang was the leader, and he had more or less given them some benefits, so he couldn't leave immediately. So he suggested, Brother Lang, why don't you go in and interview them while we wait here? Forget it, let's go. Canlang was also afraid of death. How could he joke about his life for 20,000 yuan? Shaking his head, he led the group back home. The current material was enough. Even if they didn't continue the interview, it was enough to write a complete and utter destruction of Pengzhan Group. Just based on the 4 words unknown horror, no one would dare to send students to number 1 high school anymore. Who knows if such a horrible thing will happen again in the future. It would be better if the hospital didn't come to a conclusion. It would allow Canling to do whatever he wanted. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 668 Guanzuman's Rival. Because this incident had such a wide impact, after the hospital reported it, the health authorities took it very seriously. They immediately assembled a team of highly respected doctors in the medical field and rushed them to the Second People's Hospital for a consultation. Guanzuman was one of the leaders of this expert team. Guanzuman normally doesn't see patients, but this time, given the seriousness of the matter and the unknown circumstances, Guanzuman's high reputation and extensive experience made it natural for him to participate. Soon, the entire team of experts entered the emergency room to analyze and study the patient's condition. I think this is a new, unknown virus, Zhang Weikang, one of the leaders of the expert group and also the president of the city's medical association, said, we must report to the World Health Organization immediately and send foreign experts here to conduct research. Dr. Zhang, isn't it too early to judge it as an unknown virus now? Guanzuman held a different opinion. According to the people in the school, all the students fell ill at almost the same time, and the students who fell ill only accounted for a very small proportion of the entire school's students. If it is an acute infectious disease caused by an unknown virus infection, then the onset time is too coincidental, right? Could it be that the virus was also agreed upon to break out and infect together? Although Guanzuman's words were a bit sharp, they also pointed out the key to the matter, that is, this incident was not an unknown virus infection. However, Guanzuman's last sentence was very funny, which caused laughter among the experts. Zhang Weikang's face changed a little. He and Guan Zuman have always had some disagreements. Although he is the president of the Songshan City Medical Association, the medical community in Songshan City knows that when it comes to the most powerful medical skills, it must be Guan Zuman. Then, with Dr. Guan's insight, what's going on? Zhang Weikang sneered, deliberately referring to Guan Zuman as Dr. Guan. It seemed like nothing, since Guan Zuman's company was called Dr. Guan Pharmaceutical Company. However, when he said it at this time, it was filled with a great deal of irony. Although Guan Zuman could hear the sarcasm in Zhang Weikang's tone, he didn't care. He was a scholar and didn't care much for false reputation. This was also the reason why he refused to take up some official positions in the medical society. Otherwise, Zhang Weikang wouldn't have been the president of the medical society. Based on my experience, I think the possibility of poisoning is greater, Guan Zuman said. The student fell ill shortly after he had lunch, and the onset time is very close. The current symptoms are also similar to those after poisoning. Zhang Weikang sneered and interrupted Guan Zuman. Dr. Guan's analysis is so insightful, but unfortunately, although you are a miracle doctor, you should also look at the case before expressing your opinion. Otherwise, not only will our time be wasted, but also the patient's precious rescue time. The case clearly states that no toxic ingredients were detected in the food in the stomach. How did they get food poisoning? This is not surprising. What if the toxic substance has been absorbed by the human body? Guan Zuman was not angry at all. To do academic research, one must have a skeptical spirit. And he is also happy to see someone question it. Absorb? You mean, the patients only absorbed the toxic substances and left the non-toxic food in the stomach? Zhang Weikang laughed. According to what you said, these people's stomach functions are really powerful? They can even distinguish whether it is toxic or not? And they specifically choose to absorb the toxic ones. Zhang Weikang's words also attracted some laughter, but the experts present here would not help either side. They would not get involved in such a fight between gods. I have seen similar records in some ancient medical books. Guan Zuman continued to explain indifferently. There are some poisons made from Chinese herbal medicine and insect poisons that can be quickly absorbed by the human body. Ancient medical books? Let's not talk about whether these ancient books are forged. Even if they are real ancient books, how do we know whether what is written in them is correct? Zhang Weikang obviously did not believe Guan Zuman's words. Don't forget, the hospital has also reported to the police. The police have sealed the school cafeteria and tested the food in the school cafeteria. No toxic substances were found. Moreover, there are so many students eating in the school cafeteria. Why are only these few students poisoned? First of all, I have no way of inferring the method of poisoning. This is the police's task. What I put forward is just my opinion, Guan Zuman said. Anyway, my opinion is to report it to the World Health Organization. This is not something we can handle. If you insist it's poisoning, you will bear all the consequences yourself. Zhang Weikang would not let these students affect his reputation and future. He would not take any measures himself. Reporting directly was the easiest way. Others would take care of these things. Even if the students died, it would have nothing to do with him. Guan Zuman sighed. Although he had only seen similar information in the fragments of ancient Chinese medical books, there was no antidote. It was only listed as one of the strange poisons of the ages, along with other poisons such as goo poison, and only briefly introduced in very little detail. Let's see the patient first, Guan Zuman sighed. No matter what, since he was here, he couldn't just do nothing, right? Go and see for yourself. This is an infectious disease. We should not come into contact with patients before taking preventive measures. Zhang Weikang did not want to be infected by the virus. He was afraid of death. Now that he had a bright future, there was no need to sacrifice his life for a few students. Of course, whoever is willing to go can go. Among these experts, there were still many medical workers with a strong sense of responsibility. After hearing what Zhang Weikang said, they all showed angry expressions. If you are afraid of death, why are you still a doctor? Doctors are supposed to save the dying and heal the wounded, fighting on the front line of danger. In every industry, there are some black sheep, and there are also people who have the same idea as Zhang Weikang, shrinking their bodies and pretending not to care about their own business. Professor Guan, we will go with you to see the patient. Many experts stood up and said to Guan Zuman. No need. I'll go by myself. Actually, the hospital's case report is very detailed. You can know the result without going for an examination. Guan Zuman didn't want too many people to take risks. After all, there was a possibility of poisoning. However, Zhang Weikang's words were not unreasonable. He didn't need to let everyone accompany him to take risks. I'm just going to use Chinese medicine to examine the patient's condition. Chapter 669, The Eternal Poison. After Guan Zuman finished speaking, he left the conference room and walked quickly towards the emergency room. As soon as he arrived at the door of the emergency room, he was recognized by the doctors. Guan Zuman had a high reputation in the medical community in Songshan City, and some of these doctors were his students. Seeing Guan Zuman, they naturally showed him even more respect. Professor Guan, you're here. Dr. Sun, who is in charge of this emergency, was also Guan Zuman's former student. Seeing Guan Zuman, he hurried over and asked, are you going to see him in person? Yes, I'll take a look. Guan Zuman nodded and said, take me there. This, Dr. Sun hesitated for a moment. If it was an acute infectious disease, it would be very dangerous for Guan Zuman to go now, but he knew Guan Zuman's character and that he would not care about life or death. So after only a moment's hesitation, he took Guan Zuman to the isolation room. Among these parents, someone recognized Guan Zuman and shouted, Divine Dr. Guan is here, my child can be saved. What? Divine Dr. Guan? Which Divine Dr. Guan? Of course it's Divine Dr. Guan Zuman, Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company has become very famous recently. It is said that there are 2 special medicines that will be on the market soon. When the parents heard that it was Guan Zuman who came, they were all overjoyed, because Guan Zuman was well known and had the title of miracle doctor. If he came to see patients, their children would definitely have hope. So these parents rushed out and spontaneously pulled Guan Zuman. Divine Dr. Guan, please take a look at our child. Please take a look at our child first. Please take a look at our child. My family has only one son for 3 generations. Please take a look at our child. Please, I'm kneeling down to you. I only have this one daughter. Her mother died of complications during childbirth. I can't lose her. These parents suddenly became confused again, and they all wanted Guan Zuman to treat their children first. Chu Pengzhan could see everything clearly from inside the isolation room, but he didn't want to get involved. Although he was worried about Chu Mengyao's safety, the other parents were also worried about their children. As the school's chairman, how could he argue? Besides, as long as the cause of the symptoms was found, treatment would be easy. Dr. Sun, seeing these parents, felt a bit troubled, but he said, everyone, please be quiet. You're only wasting precious time. Let Professor Guan choose which isolation room to go to. As long as we find the cause of the symptoms, we can start treating them en masse. Dr. Sun's words awakened the parents. They all fell silent for a moment, waiting for Guan Zuman to make a choice. Guan Zuman didn't even glance at the parents' eager eyes. Instead, he casually walked into the nearest isolation room. 2 of the parents, clearly the parents of the children in the ward, were immediately overjoyed. Guan Zuman ignored them and approached the unconscious student, quickly catching up. 10 minutes later, he shook his head slightly. The patient's pulse was weak, indicating that his entire physiological function was weakening. His vital signs were also weakening. If this continued, he would die by tomorrow at the latest. But Guan Zuman was helpless. This weakness resembled that of an elderly person at the end of their lifespan. As if they had spent all their energy and were on the verge of death. Theoretically, there was no cure. However, the patient was only a teenager, not an elderly person, so this situation seemed bizarre. Nothing had happened before, and now he suddenly became like this. If not poisoning, what else could it be? Guan Zuman's mind was further strengthened. As for a bacterial infection, Guan Zuman didn't believe it was real, but it was just a possibility. Could this ancient poison really exist? If so, how had these children been poisoned? Who had done it? Was it accidental or intentional? Guan Zuman couldn't figure it out. He was trying hard to recall the ancient book he had read, trying to recall the method of detoxification from it. But helplessly, Guan Zuman racked his brains and couldn't think of a similar interpretation method. Is he really going to give up? These are 28 children. Guan Zuman really doesn't want to see them go like this. Suddenly, a person appeared in Guan Zuman's mind. Guan Zuman took out his mobile phone and dialed a number. At this moment, he had no choice but to ask for help from him. There was no other way. Lin Yi took his clothes and mobile phone and left the headquarters of Xuanyuan's kidney-sucking group. Xuanyuan's headquarters is in the suburbs, and there are usually few vehicles passing by here. If Lin Yi wants to go back to school, he can only walk to the bus station intersection near the suburbs and take a bus or taxi. While waiting for a taxi, Lin Yi took out his mobile phone to check the time, but found that there were several missed calls on it. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that before he pretended to be unconscious, he had turned his phone to vibrate mode to prevent Xuanyuan from answering it if it rang. After leaving the headquarters of the kidney harvesting group, he forgot to turn it back to normal. He checked the caller ID and found that all the calls were from Chen Yushu. Lin Yi had no idea what Chen Yushu wanted to talk to him about, but she had called him more than a dozen times. Could it be that the young lady was looking for him? Thinking of the tit-for-tat between Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun at noon, Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that the young lady and Tang Yun had quarreled again? Thinking of this, Lin Yi hurriedly called back. The sudden ringing of the phone startled Chen Yushu, and also startled Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu, who had been silent the whole time. Chu Mengyao took out her cell phone, glanced at the caller ID, and found that it was Lin Yi calling. She quickly picked up the phone. "Brother Arrow, where have you been? Why didn't you answer the phone? Sister Yao is going to die soon. I called you and you didn't answer. I decided not to be with you anymore. Chu Mengyao is going to die?" Lin Yi was shocked. When he left, Chu Mengyao was fine. Now, he has only been gone for a few hours, and Chu Mengyao is going to die? What happened in the meantime? "Zia Oshu, don't worry. What happened to Yao? Where are you?" Lin Yi asked. "We are in the emergency room of the Second People's Hospital. Come quickly, Brother Arrow. If Sister Yao dies, I will die too." Chen Yushu was extremely anxious, but she felt a little hopeful that she could contact Lin Yi. In Chen Yushu's impression, Brother Arrow seemed to be omnipotent. "Okay, I'll be there right away." Lin Yi quickly stopped a taxi and told the driver the address. Then he said to Chen Yushu, "Zia Oshu, I'm already at the hospital. Can you tell me about Yao's condition?" Chapter 670, Emergency. Okay, Chen Yushu knew that explaining the situation to Lin Yi now would save time, so she recounted what happened after lunch in the cafeteria. Lin Yi's brow furrowed as he listened. Chu Mengyao had fainted for no apparent reason? Chen Yushu's words left Lin Yi unable to assess her condition, so he could only wait until they reached the hospital. "Master, could you please drive faster?" Lin Yi was worried about the young lady's safety. Living with her daily had also fostered a certain affection for her. Although Lin Yi had been trained by his master and the old man since childhood to be somewhat cold-blooded, he was still a human being. Chu Mengyao wasn't just his employer. Lin Yi considered her a friend. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't have been so anxious. While he was Chu Mengyao's assistant, he wasn't her personal physician. When Chu Pengzhan had contacted him, he hadn't mentioned any obligation to treat her. But the situation was different now. Lin Yi was genuinely concerned for the young lady, so he urged the taxi driver to go faster. This place is quite a distance from the Second People's Hospital. At the current speed, it will take at least an hour to get there. "Young man, my car is 5 years old and its performance is not good. It's dangerous to drive too fast, and I don't dare to drive too fast," the driver said with a wry smile. "I know you're in a hurry to get to the hospital. So, let me drive to a busy area and you can get another car. As for my fare, it's up to you whether you pay or not." After hearing the taxi driver's words, Lin Yi couldn't help but shake his head. This place was still far from the busy city center, and Lin Yi couldn't wait any longer. "Let me drive. Pay the fare as usual, and I'll give you an extra 500. As he spoke, Lin Yi took out his wallet and counted out 700 yuan, placing it on the dashboard. The fare from here to the second hospital was about 200 yuan, so Lin Yi's 700 yuan was already a lot. The driver hesitated for a moment before asking, "Young man, do you have a driver's license?" "Yes." Lin Yi pulled his license from his wallet and showed it to the driver. "Okay, then you drive." The driver happily put away the 700 yuan and parked the car on the side of the road, letting Lin Yi drive. The driver thought very clearly. Even if Lin Yi's driving style wastes some gasoline, the money is enough, even including the fines for traffic violations, so why not do it? After Lin Yi got in the car, he started the car, shifted gears, and released the clutch in one go. After the car rushed out, he kept shifting gears and accelerating. Lin Yi's driving style surprised the driver. It wasn't long before Lin Yi had already shifted into fifth gear and kept stepping on the accelerator. The car was galloping like a wild horse that had broken free from its reins. Although this was a suburban road with few cars, the speed limit was still 80. If there were a speed camera, Lin Yi would have been caught driving like that. Fortunately, there were no cameras on this road. However, after Lin Yi entered the city, he didn't slow down, but instead continued to accelerate. Seeing that more and more cars were coming, the driver hurriedly said, "Young man, slow down, it's dangerous. Besides, there's a checkpoint up ahead, there are police, you can't hit me," Lin Yi said calmly, still accelerating. The car was like an afterimage, nimbly weaving through the traffic. As Lin Yi finished speaking, the car completed a drift, which scared the driver so much that his heart almost exploded. Drifting? No way. I usually only see it on TV. I didn't expect my shabby car could drift. Could this person be a professional racing driver? Just as he was thinking about it, sirens suddenly sounded around the car. Obviously, the monitoring center had noticed something unusual and notified the police to intercept them. "Young man, the police are chasing us." "Stop now," the driver exclaimed in shock. This was the end of him. The car would be impounded. 700 yuan wasn't even enough to cover the fine. Lin Yi frowned slightly. He hadn't expected the police to react so quickly, pinpointing his location in such a short time. Lin Yi had no choice but to call Song Lingshan. Fortunately, Song Lingshan wasn't at the kidney harvesting ring's headquarters, so her phone had a signal. Lin Yi dialed the number. "Hello? Song Lingshan." Lin Yi didn't wait for her to say anything. "My car's been targeted by the police. I need to go to the hospital to save someone. Tell them to leave." Song Lingshan, having received Lin Yi's call, assumed he was asking if he had already shut down the ring's headquarters. It turned out to be something else. This time, however, Song Lingshan wasn't particularly annoyed by Lin Yi's order. She didn't ask any further questions, simply asking, "What's your license plate number? What's your license plate number?" Lin Yi asked the driver. "Song at 8224, the driver was surprised. Did this person even know Song Lingshan? The name Song Lingshan wasn't something the driver should have known, considering his profession. However, he'd been listening to the radio news and happened to hear about the new criminal investigation captain Song Lingshan cracking a bank robbery and apprehending the bank robbers. He'd remembered her name, having recently apprehended another wanted criminal. He'd also been impressed by the captain's ability, and he'd remembered her name. But he'd been surprised to learn that Lin Yi was actually Song Lingshan, and his tone towards her seemed rather rude. Who is this young man? Lin Yi didn't have time to consider the driver's thoughts and simply gave her the license plate number. Song Lingshan took note of the number and called the traffic police command center. She couldn't ignore Lin Yi's situation, and Lin Yi had made it clear he was going to the hospital. Wait, going to the hospital? Song Lingshan suddenly remembered her subordinate's report of a mass coma among students at Songshan First High School. However, Song Lingshan was busy with a kidney harvesting ring case, so she sent one of her squadron leaders to investigate. Could it be that Lin Yi went to rescue those poisoned students? Considering that Lin Yi is also a student of No. 1 high school and was hired by Chu Pengzhan, it makes sense for him to go and rescue people. However, these are not the scope of Song Lingshan's responsibility, so Song Lingshan did not ask any more questions. Suddenly, Song Lingshan remembered that Lin Yi did not call her brainless girl just now, but called her name, and Song Lingshan's heart jumped for no reason. Is Lin Yi anxious and has no time to tease herself, or has his attitude towards herself changed? Who cares? No matter what he thinks, as long as she has a good relationship with him, it's fine. Song Lingshan didn't want to think about these messy relationships, so she put them behind her. Chapter 671 What is the strength? Lin Yi drove across another street. The sirens of the nearby police cars disappeared, evidently having been notified. The driver was filled with admiration for Lin Yi. It wasn't until Lin Yi parked the car downstairs at the hospital that he finally came to his senses. He was truly a driving genius. He checked the time, 19 minutes. It was a miracle, unbelievable. He had never imagined that his 5-year-old, multi-thousand-dollar rickshaw had the potential to be a sports car, perhaps even faster than one. As Lin Yi got out of the car, his cell phone rang again. He initially thought it was Chen Yushu asking if he'd arrived, but the caller ID showed Guan Zuman's name. Lin Yi walked towards the hospital while answering the phone. "Hello, Grandpa Guan, what's up?" Lin Yi was concerned about the safety of his young lady, So while he remained polite to Guanzuman's call, he was still a little anxious and wanted to finish his conversation as quickly as possible. Xiao Yi, where are you? If nothing's wrong, could you please come over? Guanzuman could hear the urgency in Lin Yi's voice, and thinking that something might be wrong with Lin Yi made Guanzuman's heart tighten. If Lin Yi couldn't come, then there really was no hope at all. I'm at the second hospital. My friend's in trouble, and I'm rushing to treat him. I'm afraid I don't have time for the time being, Lin Yi quickly replied. Sorry, Grandpa Guan, I'll call you when I'm done, okay? As Lin Yi spoke, he pushed open the door and rushed into the emergency room. A doctor tried to hold Lin Yi back, but who knew he was so fast? He was in the blink of an eye. Guanzuman was slightly stunned when he heard Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi was also at the second hospital? And why was there an echo when Lin Yi spoke? Guanzuman looked up and saw a figure rushing towards him. Who else could it be but Lin Yi? Lin Yi had come? Could Lin Yi's friend be one of the poison students? Guanzuman felt relieved when he thought of this possibility. If that was the case, then there really was hope for these students. Guanzuman quickly stood up and followed him out. Xiao, Lin Yi was startled when he heard someone calling his name. Listening carefully, it was Guanzuman's voice again. Lin Yi glanced at the phone to his ear. It didn't seem to be coming from there, but from behind him. Lin Yi turned around and asked in surprise, Grandpa Guan? Why are you here? Is your friend one of the unconscious students? Guanzuman asked anxiously, not answering Lin Yi's question. Oh, Lin Yi was slightly taken aback, then a glimmer of understanding dawned. I see, Grandpa Guan. You asked me here for the students here, right? But whether or not you know anyone here, I can only go check on my friend first. Sorry, I'll be there after I'm done, Lin Yi politely stated his position. Although he and Guanzuman also had a good relationship, since the unconscious person wasn't Guanzuman, Lin Yi still had to go check on the young lady first. There's no one I know. Go check on your friend. Once we figure out the cause of the coma, we can start treating her. I was just asked to see a doctor. Guanzuman waved his hand, signaling Lin Yi to calm down and focus on treating his friend. Lin Yi nodded. It turned out Guanzuman was worried about the student's condition, and he had misunderstood him. Okay, then I'll check on my friend first. Lin Yi nodded and began searching for Chu Mengyao's room. Not far away, he came upon Chu Pengzhan, Uncle Fu, and Shen Yushu in a room. This was clearly Chu Mengyao's isolation room. Lin Yi pushed the door open and walked in. Chu Pengzhan wasn't very familiar with Lin Yi's medical skills. When Xiao Shu had called Lin Yi, he had assumed she was desperate and seeking help. He hadn't truly considered Lin Yi's ability to treat his daughter's illness. Uncle Fu, however, was thoughtful. He knew Lin Yi's strength was remarkable. He had killed 2 yellow rank masters. How much more powerful would he have to be? At first, Uncle Fu suspected Lin Yi was at the late 1 rank. But a few days ago, when he heard that Lin Yi had clashed with Zubo, Zhao Kaibing's associate, Uncle Fu was shocked. Uncle Fu had certainly heard of Zubo's reputation. In his early years, Zubo, known as Zhu Liu, was a renowned figure in the martial arts world. With the strength of the early Zhuan rank, he was virtually unmatched. Later, he heard that he had been recruited by a clan, only to find himself serving as Zhao Kaibing's subordinate. Even if such a master hadn't achieved a breakthrough in the past decade, it's unlikely that his strength had declined. He was definitely at the early Zhuan rank. However, after the clash, Lin Yi appeared unharmed, showing no signs of injury. This astonished Uncle Fu. What exactly was Lin Yi's strength? Was he also an early Zhuan rank expert? Only a Zhuan rank expert of the same caliber could stand up to Zubo in a head-on confrontation. Of course, if Lin Yi were at the mid-stage Zhuan rank, a head-on confrontation wouldn't yield any results, but he would definitely be able to kill Zubo. Now that Zubo is alive and well, and Lin Yi isn't injured, this is a bit strange. If Lin Yi is truly much stronger than Zubo, then it's possible that he wasn't injured. But if Lin Yi is truly much stronger than Zubo, could Zubo still be alive? He would probably be dead long ago. Even a mid-stage 1-level expert could kill the opponent in a head-on confrontation like this, though of course he would also be injured. The only possibilities for Lin Yi being uninjured and not killing Zubo are that either Lin Yi didn't use his full strength, or Lin Yi's medical skills are so advanced that he healed the wound himself. Uncle Fu thought the first possibility was less likely. After all, Lin Yi was furious at the time. How could he show mercy? After breaking Zhao Kaibing's leg, he still wanted to do something else to Zhao Kaibing. If he truly didn't take Zhu Bo seriously, he could have continued to attack Zhao Kaibing after defeating Zhu Bo. But Lin Yi didn't do that. Instead, he chose to leave. And most importantly, Lin Yi was indeed injured that night and recuperated at Fatty Lai's house. Although Uncle Fu didn't know the situation at the time and didn't see how serious Lin Yi's injuries were, he could guess that they were probably not minor. Because of this, Uncle Fu suspected that Lin Yi's medical skills were also very advanced. Chu Pengzhan was suddenly delighted to see Guan Zuman and Lin Yi come in together. After all, Guan Zuman was known as Guan the Divine Doctor. If he could come and see his daughter, perhaps there would be hope. However, Chu Pengzhan soon discovered that Guan Zuman seemed to be focusing on Lin Yi. He always lagged behind Lin Yi by half a step, and his expression was very respectful. This made Chu Pengzhan a little confused. Chapter 672 Everything is Possible. Professor Guan, Zai, you're here. Chu Pengzhan noticed this detail, but since Lin Yi was still his junior and they were close, he prioritized Guan Zuman over them. I'll follow Zai to see if he has a solution. Guan Zuman was a scholar, unconcerned with prestige. Lin Yi was superior to him, and that was it. He never hid it. But before he could finish, Chen Yushu interrupted him. Brother Arrow, you're finally here. Check on Sister Yao. You must heal her. Seeing Lin Yi approach, Chen Yushu felt like she had found a lifeline. She grabbed Lin Yi and pulled him over to Chu Mengyao's bedside. Okay, Lin Yi nodded, his expression grave. He took Chu Mengyao's hand and checked her pulse. She looked frail, like a dying old man. However, from Jiao Yizi's perspective, Chu Mengyao's energy was rapidly dissipating, and the moment it completely vanished, her life would be over. Lin Yi frowned slightly. This situation was extremely bizarre, and there were many possibilities. One was a physical condition, perhaps a congenital incurable disease, but Chu Mengyao clearly didn't have that. Another possibility was a sudden onset of some malignant illness, such as cancer. However, judging by Chu Mengyao's previous behavior, she didn't look like a cancer patient at all. Beyond that, there were two less common possibilities. The first was being injured by a skilled opponent, damaging her internal organs, which would cause such rapid vital signs to wither. The second was poisoning. Some poisons can quickly disrupt the body's physiological functions, leading to swift death. Lin Yi didn't look at the medical records, nor did he have the time. He simply asked Guan Zuman, Grandpa Guan, what do you think? Hearing Lin Yi's question, Guan Zuman quickly said, the expert team currently has two theories. The first is infection with some unknown bacteria, and the second is poisoning. Bacteria? Poisoning? Lin Yi nodded. Both are possible. Guan Zuman was stunned. He was surprised that Lin Yi actually supported the bacterial theory. I've studied goo poison carefully. In fact, many goo poisons are actually a type of bacteria, and people who are poisoned by goo will also experience this situation, Lin Yi said, but in the final analysis, it's still poisoning. Goo poison can also be considered a poison. I see. Guan Zuman had never thought about the goo poison. After hearing what Lin Yi said, he finally understood. It seems that he was a little paranoid, and what Zhang Weiking said may not be unreasonable. Of course, Zhang Weiking was just an accident, which he himself did not expect. Lin Yi is now only speculating. He has no absolute certainty to judge whether Chu Mengyao is poisoned. However, based on the current situation, it is not difficult to wake Chu Mengyao up. However, after Chu Mengyao wakes up, she cannot maintain it. Master Guan, the food test in the stomach is fine. Although Lin Yi also guessed so, he still asked. No, Guan Zuman said, at least according to the current test reports, it's not poisonous. However, some Chinese herbal or insect poisons can be detected chemically. Lin Yi nodded and said, I know that. I've studied poisons before. The Tang Clan Poison Classic basically covers all poisons and their antidotes. It's safe to say that Lin Yi is very knowledgeable about poisons, and this is also related to the old man and his family. Lin Yi doesn't understand why the old man has a special liking for poisons and goo poisons, which has led to Lin Yi's considerable experience in poisons and their antidotes. The Tang Clan Poison Classic. Have you read the Tang Clan Poison Classic? Guan Zuman's face suddenly changed, and he looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. The ancient book he had read, when mentioning the ancient and legendary poisons, also mentioned the renowned Tang Clan Poison Classic. As the name suggests, The Tang Sect Poison Classic is one of the secret manuals written by the Tang sect located in Sichuan and also known as Tang Jiabao. The Tang sect was renowned for its use of poisons. However, it has now been lost, and although it is occasionally seen, it only appears in martial arts novels and television dramas. Whether this sect actually existed remains to be determined. Guan Zuban was unsure whether the Tang sect poison classic mentioned in ancient books actually existed. These ancient medical texts are not orthodox medical literature, but rather anecdotal, containing bizarre stories, some true, some false, and it's impossible to tell. I've read it, Lin Yi nodded. His family not only had the Tang sect poison classic, but also numerous books on poisons, such as the 5 Poison Secrets. Guan Zuban was thrilled. Could Lin Yi truly be from an ancient medical family? Why had he encountered so many lost medical texts? Of course, Guan Zuban knew this wasn't the time to ask such questions. Suppressing his joy, he asked, "Do you have a cure? If it's poisoning, there should be." "Let's try." Lin Yi didn't elaborate. Although the old man had said before he'd left the mountain that he'd mastered a third of his skills, enough to dominate the martial arts world, Lin Yi wasn't arrogant. Who knew if he could actually cure it? He wasn't worried about Chu Mengyao's safety, though. As long as he could continuously infuse her with zhenki, what Jiao Yezi called energy, he could keep her alive indefinitely. Even if he couldn't cure the poison himself, he could still save her by getting her to the old man. Although the old man constantly boasted about being the world's greatest doctor, Lin Yi knew he had the credentials. And he was still a level below. Lin Yi silently activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue internal energy technique, rapidly channeling energy into Chu Mengyao's body. Fortunately, Chu Mengyao's body wasn't a bottomless pit like Pengzhan Xiao's, which had drained Lin Yi dry and even led to a tragic level drop. Chu Mengyao was a normal person, so the energy she needed was minimal, a mere drop in the bucket for Lin Yi, which made him breathe a sigh of relief. If Chu Mengyao had truly drained all of his energy like Pengzhan Xiao had, then extending her life wouldn't be feasible. He would need time to recover, right? As the energy entered Chu Mengyao's body, her physiological functions rapidly began to recover, and her entire body was filled with vitality. Not long after, her eyelashes fluttered. Chen Yushu, who had been watching her intently, suddenly noticed her unusual movement and exclaimed in surprise, "Sister Yao, are you waking up?" Chapter 673 cured in an instant. Chu Mengyao opened her eyes and glanced at Chen Yushu with some confusion. She felt as if she had just gotten some sleep, now feeling refreshed and indescribably comfortable. "Zia Oshu, was I asleep? Eh? Where is this? Isn't this the classroom? Oh. Sister Yao, you're finally awake. That's great. I was so worried." Chen Yushu didn't reply. Instead, she took her hand and cheered happily, Oh. Brother Arrow is so amazing. I've decided to continue being with you." With that, Chen Yushu suddenly hugged Lin Yi and gave him a quick kiss on the cheek. Lin Yi was stunned for a moment, but after glancing at Chen Yushu, who was completely carried away by her excitement, he didn't think much of it. Chen Yushu was just like that, acting crazy. Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu didn't take her seriously. Their attention was focused on Chu Mengyao. "Yao, you're finally awake. That's great. How are you feeling?" Chu Pengzhan hadn't expected Lin Yi to actually wake Chu Mengyao. It was completely beyond his expectations. What puzzled him was that Lin Yi seemed to have done nothing at all, merely holding Chu Mengyao's hand. A moment later, Chu Mengyao woke up. Guan Zuban was also astonished. What on earth had Lin Yi done? How could a dying person suddenly become full of energy? This was a medical miracle. Only Uncle Fu was lost in thought. He had a vague idea of what Lin Yi had just done, but he couldn't quite believe it. There was no other explanation. In the martial arts world, there's a concept called transmitting power, where one person passes their power, or zhenki, to another through some special means. This often happens when one person is seriously injured, and the other person, in order to save them, has no choice but to transfer their zhenki. Of course, there are limits to this practice. The person transmitting and the person receiving the power must be practicing the same technique. If the techniques are different, the zhenki in their bodies will naturally be different. A rash transfer of power would not only fail to save the person, but could also backfire on the person. So how did Lin Yi accomplish this? Besides, if Chu Mengyao were a martial artist, it wouldn't matter. While their internal skills might be different, they were similar. The key issue is that Chu Mengyao was an ordinary person. How did Lin Yi teach her his skills? Uncle Fu was truly shocked. Of course, he also understood that such things might involve the secrets of other sects. Martial artists would never allow others to pry into their sect's secrets. Naturally, Uncle Fu wouldn't ask. Even if he was curious, he would keep it to himself. I'm fine, and I feel full of strength. Why am I here? Chu Mengyao wondered why she felt like she was lying in the hospital. Her father and Uncle Fu had come to see her? Wasn't she at school? Sister Yao, we were talking at noon, and then you fainted. I was so scared, I took you to the school infirmary, and a lot of our classmates fainted too, Chen Yushu said. Don't you remember? I think I have some memory. I felt so sleepy at the time, and it seemed like I fell asleep all of a sudden. Chu Mengyao recalled the scene, and it seemed to be true. Oh, yeah. Those doctors gave you a critical illness notice. What a mess, Chen Yushu said angrily. I thought I'd never see you again, but Brother Arrow came and cured you instantly. I'll scold those quacks later, haha. Chu Mengyao felt a warm touch at Xiaoshu's concern for her, but she was a little surprised by the doctor's critical illness notice. She certainly didn't think those doctors were quacks like Chen Yushu did. There must be a reason for their actions. Perhaps Lin Yi's cure wasn't as simple as Xiaoshu made it out to be. Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao looked at Lin Yi gratefully and said, Lin Yi, thank you, nothing. Lin Yi could only smile wryly. Chu Mengyao's awakening was only temporary. He could almost feel the energy draining from her body. The rate was terrifying. It wouldn't be long before Chu Mengyao fell into coma again. Zai, can you go check on the other students? Guan Zuman thought of the other patients. Yes, Zai, can you help the other students too? Chu Pengzhan knew that Lin Yi's actions to help his daughter wake up were definitely not as easy as he had seen. So, he asked Lin Yi to save others, unsure if he would agree, so he only used a negotiating tone. The joyful sounds in Chu Mengyao's ward caught the attention of the other ward's parents. When they emerged and saw Chu Mengyao awake, they rushed in. Miracle Doctor, please save our child, please. Yes, Miracle Doctor, I kneel before you, please save our child. They hadn't seen who had revived Chu Mengyao, but it was definitely someone in the ward, so they simply called him a Miracle Doctor. After all, the hospital had issued a critical illness notice, so who could save someone in such a situation? Lin Yi glanced at the parents, then at Chu Pengzhan, and instantly understood why he had asked him to help those students. If anything happened to those students, Chu Pengzhan's school and company would be implicated. Unbeknownst to Lin Yi and Chu Pengzhan, reporter Canlang had already reported back to the newspaper, requesting an extra edition to cover the school poisoning incident and immediately update the explosive news online. This third-rate tabloid was privately owned and relatively unknown, and the editor-in-chief was already worried about how to boost its profile. Suddenly, seeing such explosive news, he saw no reason to miss the opportunity to hype it up. He immediately ordered Canlang to follow up on the case and report the progress of the investigation simultaneously online and in the newspaper. Canlang was overjoyed, and a report titled Unknown Virus Spreads at First High School, a horrifying campus or a biohazard, went viral online. It's no secret that Canlang was incredibly cunning. His headline was incredibly catchy. The content was even more fantastical, turning a news report into a horror novel, analyzing the possible causes of 28 students' sudden collapse. The emergence of unknown bacteria has triggered a new round of infectious diseases. Some also say that the school may be cursed. After these students fainted, the hospital could not find out what caused their illness and directly issued a critical illness notice. Chapter 674 Tang Yun's hesitation. Some even say the school is actually a biochemical base, cultivating numerous viruses, and that these students accidentally came into contact with the source of the virus, resulting in a biochemical crisis. Of course, this is all speculative, just Canlang's personal assumptions. If you want to accuse him of slander, he's made it clear that this is speculation. The truth awaits the police investigation. This way, no one can find fault. Finally, Canlang writes in a warning tone, this is a horrific school. Even the daughter of the school chairman was not spared. Who would dare to send their children there? Could those 28 students today be your children tomorrow? Cherish life, stay away from First High School. As soon as Canlang's report came out, parents of First High School students were furious, rushing to the school to take their children home and not let them stay. The report clearly stated, under such circumstances, who would dare to continue attending school there? What if your child fell unconscious tomorrow? The principal and the dean of studies were both away from school. There was only a vice principal in charge, and he couldn't stop these parents. After all, the parents wanted to take their children home, and he couldn't disagree, right? As a result, most of the students in the school left, and the remaining students numbered less than 1/3, and classes could not continue. The vice principal had no choice but to announce a temporary suspension of classes, and all students could go home after school. Since Lin Yi was not there, Kang Xiaobo went to find Liu Xinwen and Tang Yun. No one from Liu Xinwen's and Tang Yun's families came to the school to make trouble. Tang Yun's parents were in the hospital, and Liu Xinwen's parents were busy discussing countermeasures for the demolition. Did the boss contact you? Kang Xiaobo asked Tang Yun. No, Tang Yun shook her head. He must have something to do. Tang Yun didn't want to be regarded by Lin Yi as a girl who was always monitoring his movements. If Lin Yi didn't say anything, she naturally wouldn't take the initiative to call and ask. Sister-in-law Tang Yun, did you know? Chu Mengyao was among those 28 unconscious students. The hospital has issued a critical illness notice and she likely won't make it to tomorrow. From now on, there'll be no one left to compete with you, Kang Xiaobo said in a low voice. Kang Xiaobo had been there when Chen Yashu carried Chu Mengyao out of the classroom, but he didn't know what had happened at the time. Now that the news had spread, Kang Xiaobo learned that Chu Mengyao had also fainted. Although Chu Mengyao was very beautiful, Kang Xiaobo, out of sympathy for her, didn't want her to get hurt. However, he was now a man with a girlfriend, and since he was on Tang Yun's side, he certainly didn't want her to do anything to harm her. If she died, it would be pitiful, but she wouldn't be a threat anymore. Huh? She's unconscious too. Tang Yun was stunned by Kang Xiaobo's words. She hadn't expected Chu Mengyao to be among the unconscious students. Although Tang Yun didn't like Chu Mengyao, that didn't mean she wanted her dead. She was a bit put off by Chu Mengyao's condescending attitude, but Tang Yun felt sympathy if anything happened to her. After all, she was only 19, in the prime of her life. Yet, I saw it with my own eyes. Oh, life is so unpredictable, Kang Xiaobo sighed. Chu Mengyao had been arguing with Tang Yun at noon, and the next moment, she was lying in the hospital. Tang Yun hesitated, truly hesitant. When Tang Yun heard that Chu Mengyao had fallen into coma and was hospitalized, her first thought was that Lin Yi, with his medical skills, should be able to find a solution. But asking Lin Yi to treat his rival? Tang Yun felt a little awkward and uncomfortable. But she couldn't just stand by and watch her die, could she? A rival was her rival, and she wasn't necessarily afraid of her because she was competing fairly. She was Lin Yi's girlfriend, and that was her advantage. She was merely his employer. Thinking of this, Tang Yun felt relieved. Should she call Lin Yi? After all, Chu Mengyao was his employer. Now that he knew about it, how could he just stand by and watch her die? Yunayan, what's wrong with you? You're not worried about Chu Mengyao, are you? Liu Xinwen also noticed Tang Yun's hesitation and couldn't help but ask. Xinwen, I'm going to tell Lin Yi about this. He knows medicine and should be able to cure Chu Mengyao. I can't just stand by and watch her die, Tang Yun said, taking out her cell phone. The phone fell once, but it wasn't broken, just the paint on the back shell was a little peeling. Ah. Yunayan, are you stupid? Chu Mengyao died of illness, and there is no one to compete with you. Why do you still want Lin Yi to treat her? Liu Xinwen looked at Tang Yun strangely, wanting to touch her forehead to see if she had a fever. Xinwen, let's be clear. She's competing with me, and I'm not afraid of her. I can't resort to such indifference. Tang Yun bit her lip. Although she said she wasn't afraid, she was actually a little nervous. After all, the eldest daughter was as beautiful as she was, and her family was well off. Plus, as she said, the one who is close to the water gets the moon first, so the two of them were starting from the same level. The most crucial issue is that Chu Mengyao also had Chen Yashu, who was obsessed with being a concubine and playing the three-person game. Tang Yun, though innocent, was not completely ignorant. She knew what the three-person game was. She had heard the boys in the class talk about it, and it seemed to have a strong appeal to them. She wondered if Lin Yi could resist the temptation. Hey, you're not really saying it? Liu Xinwen noticed the flicker in Tang Yun's eyes and shook her head. But it's up to you. If you want to fight, then fight. Yes, Tang Yun nodded and called Lin Yi. Lin Yi looked at the parents rushing in with some embarrassment, unsure how to explain it to them. Logically, since Chu Pengzhan had already spoken, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't be blamed. But at this moment, Lin Yi had no real solution. Lin Yi sighed and was about to speak when his cell phone rang, saving him from the dilemma. He glanced at Chu Pengzhan apologetically and answered the phone. Tang Yun, what's wrong? Tang Yun usually didn't call him during the school day when she was free. Even if she had something to say, she usually texted. Lin Yi, where are you? I heard Chu Mengyao fainted and was taken to the hospital. You should go save her, Tang Yun said, gritting her teeth. Huh? Lin Yi was slightly startled. He hadn't expected Tang Yun to call him specifically to ask him to save Chu Mengyao. Lin Yi smiled. It seemed that Tang Yun and the eldest daughter weren't so incompatible. Chapter 675 Can't Be Saved? Okay, I'm hanging up. Tang Yun didn't want to say anything more. Oh, okay, I got it, Lin Yi said with a smile. Lin Yi was standing next to Chu Mengyao, so she heard everything he said on the phone clearly. Even she herself showed a look of disbelief. She had never thought Tang Yun would call Lin Yi and ask him to save her. The young lady suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. She was a person with a cold exterior but a warm heart. Even if her personality was a little aloof, it was formed over a long period of time in this family. It wasn't a big problem. She was still kind at heart. So, hearing Tang Yun's concern for her made the young lady feel a little guilty. If she were Tang Yin, would she let Lin Yi save her? Would she? I don't know. In fact, if it were Chu Mengyao, she would also let Lin Yi rescue her. It was just like when she first met Xuanyuan at the amusement park. Although Chu Mengyao was disgusted by Xuanyuan's pursuit, she would not ignore him when he was sick. From this point of view, Tang Yun and the eldest young lady do have something in common: kindness. Thank her for me. The eldest young lady wanted to say thank you to Tang Yun before Lin Yi hung up, but the words faltered. She waited until Lin Yi was done before she spoke. Okay, Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi would naturally be pleased if the eldest young lady would be less critical of Tang Yun. While Lin Yi was on the phone, the parents dared not interrupt. They had already learned from Guanzuman and Chu Pengzhan that it was this unbelievably young man who had revived Chu Mengyao. So, as soon as Lin Yi hung up, he was immediately surrounded by parents. Miraculous doctor, please come and see my child, okay? Just name the consultation fee. If Chairman Chu can afford it, my family will sell everything we have. This parent, assuming Lin Yi was a miracle doctor hired by Chu Pengzhan, said hastily. Yes. Please save our child. We won't let you do it in vain, another parent said. My family owns a company. While not as big as Chairman Chu's, we still have millions in assets. As long as you save my child, just name your price, a well-dressed parent chimed in. It's not that I won't save her, but I can't do it yet. Lin Yi felt a headache and could only speak the truth. Huh? The parents were all stunned. Even Guanzuman and Chu Pengzhan were stunned, wondering what Lin Yi meant by this. Can save her? Lin Yi didn't want to help. Uncle Fu, on the other hand, was secretly speculating that perhaps Lin Yi had truly awakened Chu Mengyao using his own key through the method of passing on his power. However, this method greatly affected one's own strength. No one would sacrifice their own strength to save someone unless they were extremely important. Uncle Fu was an external martial arts master and had no key in his body. But even if he did, he would only use his own strength to retreat and save someone if Chu Pengzhan or Chu Mengyao were injured. And now, Chu Pengzhan and Guanzuman were asking Lin Yi to save others, clearly putting him in a difficult position. Divine Doctor, you can't just stand by and watch someone die? Yes, that's not the way of a divine doctor. The parents immediately grew anxious, but they didn't dare say anything too harsh. After all, Lin Yi had no obligation to save them, so they were complimenting him while also trying to get him to intervene. I've already said it, it's not that I'm standing by and watching someone die, but that I'm powerless right now. Lin Yi shook his head. Powerless? But you've already revived Chairman Chu's daughter. Yes, Divine Doctor, didn't you cure Chu Mengyao? The parents were a little skeptical, thinking he was simply refusing to treat her. Oh no. Sister Yao fainted again, Chen Yushu suddenly screamed, grabbing Chu Mengyao's hand in panic and looking at Lin Yi. Brother Arrow, come quickly. Why did Sister Yao faint again? Chen Yushu's cry startled Chu Pengzhan, Uncle Fu, and Guanzuman. The other parents also looked at Chu Mengyao, who had fainted again, somewhat bewildered, not knowing what had happened. As you can see, I didn't save her. I only briefly revived her. Lin Yi smiled wryly, took Chu Mengyao's hand, and felt her pulse. She was very weak, almost as weak as when he first saw her. Even if she was stronger, it wasn't much. Chu Mengyao's energy had been completely depleted, and very little remained. Fortunately, after she fell into coma, the energy consumption rate had slowed down significantly, but even so, she definitely wouldn't survive tomorrow. Huh? The parents finally understood Lin Yi's meaning. He hadn't actually cured Chu Mengyao, he had merely revived her. Zai, what's going on? Guan Zuman and Chu Pengzhan looked at Lin Yi, somewhat confused. Brother Arrow, what should we do now? Why did Sister Yao faint again? Is she okay? Chen Yushu was also a little anxious. She'll be fine for now, but I need to think carefully about how to treat her. Could you all please leave? Lin Yi glanced at the parents in the ward and said, once I find a treatment, your child's symptoms will naturally resolve. Lin Yi's words reassured the parents. At least Lin Yi wasn't ignoring them. Since that was the case, they naturally didn't dare to disturb Lin Yi anymore and hurriedly left the ward, giving him some space to think quietly. Chu Pengzhan hesitated for a moment and said, Zai, are we going out too? Not for now. Lin Yi shook his head, feeling very anxious. Although Lin Yi is quite knowledgeable about poisons and antidotes, he lacks much experience. This is because Lin Yi has been training outside for many years and has rarely been exposed to poisons and antidotes. Therefore, he has theoretical knowledge but feels at a loss as to where to start. Now, he does not know what kind of poison Chu Mengyao has been poisoned by, nor is he sure where the poison came from. He can only start with Chu Mengyao herself. If he were poisoned, how would the old man treat him? Lin Yi frowned and began to recall the old man's approach. When he was a child, he was also bitten by a poisonous insect and feared for his life. At that time, the old man also did not know where the poison came from and could not determine the poison he had been poisoned by based on the symptoms. Oh, right, at that time, the old man used acupuncture to force the poison out of his body. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.